Thanks for the gift.
No, of course. Thank Quip.
Yeah.
They those toothbrushes fucking rock. They're good for on the road.
Are they? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. You rolling, Austin? Yeah, they're good for on the road because they have a cover, and the cover. You never used a Quip toothbrush?
No, and it's electric?
It's electric toothbrush. Yeah, we're doing a read in the legit part of the show. It's a great toothbrush. It's vibrating. It beeps every 30 seconds, so you brush your teeth for 2 minutes. And it's got a top that you can stick to the mirror and put your toothbrush in, and then put the cover on, throw it. I'll tell you the best part about that fucking toothbrush, it's going to sound crazy, is the toothpaste. The Quip toothpaste is so good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so enjoy.
Oh, dude, I will. Thank you. Make sure this thing's off.
I like that watch.
Yeah, so I got this watch in Berlin when I was with Burr.
That's a beautiful fucking watch.
You know what it is?
No.
It's a Swatch.
Shut the fuck up.
Swear to God. It's a Swatch,
Let me
dude.
see it.
It's a Swatch. Less than 300.
Dude,
it's my favorite watch I've ever had.
So fucking classy.
It's my favorite watch I've ever had.
That's a fucking Swatch?
It's a Swatch, dude. Because Swatch has a whole line of now metal and like instead of the crazy color shit. Isn't that crazy?
Fucking watch.
Yeah, it's my favorite. Thanks, dude. I love it. Yeah.
You got a little bit of old school man in you, huh?
You know what's crazy about it? Like they always joke about me with it. The older I get, like I like appreciate sedans. Like I fucking love a 4-door smooth ride, not fast.
Can I tell you when I was I must have been 32.
Yeah.
It was before I had Georgia. I must have been 30.
Right.
I went to go buy a new car, and I ended up getting a Yukon Denali. I got a great deal.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah.
It was that was a fucking.
That was a great
car.
truck.
That was a great. That might have been my most pleasurable thing I've ever bought in my life.
Wow, that's a crazy.
Or leased it. But I almost got a Cadillac DTS. That was the sedan.
Oh, I remember. Yeah,
it was a badass fucking sedan. Kiefer Sutherland drove around LA one.
Yeah,
Adam Sandler had one.
Yeah,
I'd seen them driving in it, and every time I saw it, I was like, "God damn, that's a badass ride."
Yeah.
But I test drove it. It drove awesome, but I felt like too old. I felt like it made me feel old. And Leanne's like, "You're not that old yet." Leanne was with me when we were just dating at the time, so I got the truck. But I love a sedan.
Yeah, I love a sedan. I love a 4-door. But there's just like little things that like I'm appreciating, like this chain. I got a chain. You know, my wife got me the chain when the special came out, and I was never a chain guy. Yeah. And now it's like I can't. It's part of me. It has to. Yeah. So I'm getting that. I think you're right. It's funny
pinky
that
rings next. The pinky
no,
ring.
that one. No, that's where I draw the line.
Dude, I've been looking for a fucking. You ready for this? A classy pinky ring that's a horseshoe.
Oh,
I want a classy diamond encrusted horseshoe.
My mother, see, a lot of people think I'm just Italian because of how I look and my last name's Virzi.
Look and how I sound.
How I look, how I sound, everything about me. My mother's 100% Greek. I'm as much Greek as I am Italian, so I think that offsets the pinky ring because I don't want the pinky ring, and I think that's why. Because if my mother was Italian, I'd probably already have 2 of them. Yeah, like I don't want it. Yeah. I think it's too much. It is too much for me. It's too much. You know,
I grew up around. I grew up around a lot of older. I don't know the right word for this, but like older Southern, like mafia, Southern. That's anyone that knows me is going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's a guy. This is what I meant to say. Like the Burt Reynolds types, the kinds who grew up in Florida that were good old boys that had jewelry. I remember those were the guys that my dad worked for when I was a kid.
Right.
Ernie Hereford was this one guy. He owned a Ford dealership, and Ernie had like rings on every finger, bracelets, and I remember just being like, "This sounds so cheesy," but I'm like, "Man, one day I'll be that kind of man. I'll be covered in bracelets and rings. Yeah, wealthy."
Do you have a chain or no?
Oh yeah. This one I have. So funny. I said to my wife one time, I'm the kind of guy that I'm such a hypocrite because I will make fun of things that I realize I am doing nonstop. Like I started making fun of comics that wear hats that have the hometown that they're from.
Oh yeah.
It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
That's all I wear is Tampa Bay hats.
That's so funny.
I love a good Bucks hat. Like an old throwback creamsicle Bucks hat.
That's a great, but I'll tell you who does it the most, and I figured it out.
I can tell you who does.
Who
Keep
does
going.
it?
Everyone.
No, Cleveland, number 1. guys from Cleveland, the land, all these different, it's like they're so proud of it.
They're so proud of that town.
They're so proud of Cleveland when they're there. I notice this. All the comics in New York that are from there just constantly Cleveland apparel.
It's amazing. But I say that we were watching Survivor, and Rob from Boston had a gold chain on.
Yeah.
I go, who the fuck wears a gold chain? My wife goes, you asshole. I went, oh shit, I didn't even realize. But it's just such a part of me. Yeah. I don't even see it. My grandmother gave me this when I was 25. I was going through my first real bout of like OCD, and like I could not shut it off.
Yeah.
I really was going crazy. I didn't know it, but I had OCD really bad.
Wow.
And my grandmother, I came home. It got so bad, my mom flew me home. I was living in New York. I was trying to get into comedy. I just was failing everywhere, and I was depressed. Probably if I knew how to register depression. My mom flew me home. My buddy, my roommate Ty, called my mom. Was like, something's going on with Bert. You should. I don't know. I can't talk to him like that, but something's going on with Bert. Mm-hmm. My mom just flew me home. I came home, ended up in my backyard with my dad and my mom and my sisters. My grandma showed up. My grandma's like, everyone leaves. My grandma's drinking vodka, and she says, look, I don't know what you're going through. I don't need to know what you're going through. I just know you're going through something. And I don't know how to help you, but here, and she gave me this necklace with St. Jude on it. She was like, anytime you have a problem, just pray to St. Jude. And she gave me the St. Jude prayer card. And she goes, St. Jude, he's the patron saint of hopeless cases. And if you feel hopeless, feel lost, St. Jude will fix it. This is going to sound really fucking crazy, and I'm sure this isn't healthy. But what I started doing is every time my obsessive compulsiveness took over, I pulled out the prayer card and I read it. instead of letting myself get obsessive, I prayed to St. Jude.
Wow.
And then what happened is, after like a week, I got so tired of reading the goddamn prayer that I was like, just be done with this. And I stopped being obsessive compulsive.
Well, it's funny you say that because I suffer from that. And
really?
Oh my God. Like obsessive compulsive, took over my life for a while to the point where it was crippling. But I had, I talk about it in the special too at the end. I have what they call a pure obsessive. It's called a puro. It's different than regular obsessive. Like my obsessive compulsive would not be washing my hands, or my OCD would not be like, sometimes if it got really bad, I used to go into a urinal, have to count or touch something 3 times or do like, or have that, but mine's thoughts. Okay. So
keep going.
So I would keep going. So, for example, if I was, if I'm holding and I talk about it, like if I hold a baby or something that I love and I thought about harming it, I would have to sit down and really break down in my mind, why would I do that? Because it's the last thing I want to do in the moment. It used to happen to me before I got on stage. Sometimes when I was really comfortable on stage, it would happen on stage and I would have to tell myself like, dude, just go through the joke. And obviously nobody in the crowd knew, but it was something that I really struggled with bad. And then I called a doctor, and like this doctor in Boston who like specializes in it. She's like, yeah, the thoughts invade you at the most vulnerable time. And you made a really good point though, Bert. When you're depressed, it's when you're the most vulnerable. It's a very clever disease. And OCD is not, people think, oh, it's funny. Oh, this person counts, this person doesn't. No. I would sit there and think about awful, violent, sexual, hurtful to people I loved, and just sit there and be like, why? And then I had to kind of do what you did, where I was like, it got to a breaking point where I'm like, look, you got to tell yourself it's just the OCD, and you just get tired of it. But that St. Jude thing that's pretty awesome.
Wait, when did you first notice you were obsessive compulsive? Like, when do you remember it?
I had a really bad, I'm not going to say upbringing, because my upbringing was filled with love, but my parents had a really brutal divorce when I was 5 and my brother was 10. But it was like brutal. It was like textbook what not to do if you get divorced. And I know my mother and father would be, it would kill him to hear that, but like it was just not handled well. It was the middle of the 80s. My dad comes from this 100% Sicilian family where you just don't do this. My mom wasn't happy, kind of bad-mouthing each other. Me and my brother got stuck in the middle, and a lot of security was stripped of me because it wasn't like, oh, my dad cares about my mom, or it wasn't like. One of the best quotes ever, John Wooden quote, UCLA coach. He said, he's got two best quotes. One is, failure to prepare is preparing to fail, right?
Failure to prepare is preparing to fail, yeah.
That's one of my favorites. And the other one is, the best thing a father can do for his children is love their mother. And
that's true, man. I am fucking killing it. I love that woman more than she's ever loved me.
But I watch it now. I watch, like when I hug my son, I have a 10-year-old boy and a 7-year-old little girl.
Yeah.
And when I hug my wife, they light up. I watch them look, because they do hear us argue sometimes. They'll hear like, not crazy, but like, what the fuck? You don't, come on, don't talk to me like, and they'll just be like, then all of a sudden they see hugging and they open up. I didn't have that. So a lot of things were messed up. My mom, we had to move a lot. So I always had this thing of like.
Your mom's Greek?
My mother's Greek. And in third grade, they noticed that we had like this little walkway into the kitchen, but I'd walk around it. And they were just like, that's kind of weird how he's just not walking. I like had to walk around it for something, and it was some security thing that I wasn't even aware of. And then they were like, oh, something. Then, started to see, therapists and deal with it. And then, I think now I think back, like there was like comedians are fucked up and comedians have issues and, stuff like that. I think everybody is, but I think this is probably why moving, trying to, I was always like the funny guy, because that was what made me feel comfortable with my friends, to be funny or tell a story, because it was acceptance. Like, oh, listen to him tell it. And so maybe that's where it comes from. But I think the OCD came from that.
I had anxiety really young. When I was 10, I remember it vividly. I remember my first panic attack when I was like 13.
Wow.
But when I was, that panic attack was so fucking real. I was sitting in my living room with my dad, and I looked in the fireplace, and a thought just popped in my head. If you don't do this right, you go to hell forever. And I went, and it overwhelmed me. I was like, I don't want to go to hell, let alone forever. And then I was like, wait, what's forever? Yeah. I was like, fuck, oh my God. And I could not, I had to go into the bathroom. My dad was like, it's hard to talk about your parents as an adult, because their recollection is not at all accurate sometimes. Like with the things that affected us.
Right.
I remember one time I realized I was laying in bed and I realized my dad would die one day and I wouldn't have him. And it fucking freaked me out. I was 10. Yeah. This is when I started getting anxiety. I went into his bedroom and woke him up. And my dad does not wake up easily. He's like, motherfucker, what? What the fuck? What? Yeah. And I was like, hey, Dad, you're not going to die one day, are you? And he was like, yeah, we're all going to die. You are too. And I went, wait, I'm going to die? And I fucking lost it. I was like, wait, I could deal with you dying, but me? And I was up all night. I used to have panic attacks watching Johnny Carson. And what would happen was, you get like blinders on almost. Yeah. And it's like tunnel vision. And it would feel like he was yelling at me. Yeah. I would feel like this part of my toenail, the nail was going into my toe, and I just wanted to pull the skin out. It was like real, like losing your mind shit. And I couldn't talk to anyone about it. And I had it all the way until I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what panic attacks were, or even obsessive compulsiveness. I thought obsessive compulsiveness was counting shit. I didn't know it could be like the same thought going over and you can't shut it down. Yeah. And you're just like, come on, man, let's fucking get out of here. Yeah. Probably until I was like in my almost like probably 28, 29, then I was like, oh, this is a panic attack. Yeah. Oh, I would get them on planes all the time. Then someone gave me a Xanax and I was like, oh my God, I feel normal. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's, I can't believe you're saying what you're saying, dude. I feel like you like have the bio on my life, because I was in third grade sitting on the couch. Nobody was there. It was me, the TV, the couch. My mom was in the kitchen. I had a full-fledged panic attack and I didn't know, but I'm in third grade. So they were like, what the fuck? Like they were talking about, should they put me in a hospital? Yeah. I was like, I was like, the thought was, and when you said vivid, it was, wait, why am I who I am? Why am I here? Do you know that thought of why are you who you are? And I'm literally going like, why do I look the way I do? Why am I thinking like this? And it was just this fucking surreal thing about my being. But I'm in third grade. Yeah. And I started looking around, obviously, like, what the fuck? And my mom, and I started breathing, and my mother, fortunately and unfortunately, my mother dealt with it her whole life. Yeah. So she was able to say, you can't die from this.
This is just a thing, something that's going to
Oh,
pass.
I wish someone had told me that.
Yeah. So the fact that my mother went through it and dealt with it, she was able to say, Paul, you cannot die from this. This is what is called an anxiety attack. You're panicking. Just breathe. It'll pass. And my mom actually going through it made me not be like, holy shit. Like, so it's crazy.
There's something really, empowering once you get through anxiety attacks or panic attacks where you go, like my daughter has them. My daughter will have them. You can put that on there. Don't worry about that.
I don't want to.
My daughter has them. My oldest, my youngest is a fucking mouth breather. She's never gonna have anything. The kid's gonna fuck. She's like a rock. You can't hurt that kid.
Yeah.
And so, but Georgia gets them, and the first time she got one, I was like. And by the way, what's crazy as a parent is your parenting is like your mom said, hold on, I can help you with this.
Yeah.
I had to go into Georgia and be like, hey, I almost was giggling, like going, welcome to the team.
Right.
Like,
right.
I knew this was going to happen. I'm so glad. It's like almost like what it's got to feel like when a superhero's dad, his son flies for the first time. He's like, I knew this. You could do this.
Right. Or like when Teen Wolf wolfed out.
Yeah. I knew it was going to happen to you. That's the perfect example.
When he opens the door and he's a wolf and he's like, here we go. I was waiting for this.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I was like, baby, you're not dying. You're not having a heart attack.
Yeah.
You're not going to shit your pants. You're fine.
Yeah.
Like, just breathe. You're fine. I'm your dad. I'm right here with you.
That's huge that you did that for her.
Yeah. And we just breathed together and she calmed down. She's like, what is it? And I said, it's a panic attack. I've been dealing with it my whole life. She was like, I don't like them. I was like, don't worry. We're getting you in therapy. We're going to fix it. And so my wife is a gangster. She just fucking scooped her up, put her in therapy, and got like, and a therapist that deals with anxiety that could teach her coping mechanisms. And so now it's like, Georgia will see me spinning it. Because my panic attacks will be more stress related, and they'll be me I won't be able to manage. Yeah. And you can see Georgia like, Dad, you got to breathe. Listen to the Calm app. I got to be honest with you, they're a sponsor too. The Calm app. I have sleep anxiety. It's probably why I drink so much. Mm-hmm. I couldn't I never in my life could just lay in bed and go to sleep. I would lay in bed and it would be like inviting the demons in.
Because you couldn't turn the thoughts off?
I couldn't even. Not only could I not turn them off, it was like all of a sudden someone unkinked a hose and my brain fucking flooded.
The hose just going like this.
Like just
that's
like
crazy.
A fire hose, and I'm trying to catch it going, calm down.
Trying to calm it,
I mean, it's so bad. My wife would make fun of me, but like I would set traps up around the house. Like if I didn't drink, I would be certain someone was coming in to kill us in the middle of the night. I'd set traps up around the house, like skateboard on the door, so that if someone jiggled the door, the skateboard would fall, scare the dog, wake me up. But yeah, do your kids deal with it at all?
So far not now. My daughter, Sophia, 7-year-old, her anxiety is the doctor. She had something traumatic happen. She had this little thing on her lip, and they were like, maybe see the dermatologist if it doesn't go away in 6 months. Didn't go away. They were like, it's nothing really bad, but we should just cut that out, so cells don't build up. So she was like traumatized. She was like, I think she was maybe not even 6 at the time, or 6. And we went and they sedated her and they cut it out, and it was really a big deal. And then we go back and the doctor goes, you know what? We didn't get it all. And then we had to do the thing again for this little girl, and it fucked her up and it traumatized her, and it was really bad. And, now going to the dentist is crazy. If she hears that I'm sick or I'm worried, she'll be like, wait, who's going to the doctor, me or you? So that's the one thing that we're dealing with my little girl. But she is getting it. She had a really good experience at the dentist now. So I think it's getting better. Her doctors are cool because they know. And my son is just kind of like my wife, where they're just kind of like they internalize. Like even when me and my wife would fight when we were dating, I'd be like, what the fuck? And I'd want to get it out on the table now. No, and my wife would just walk away, and stupid me wouldn't realize that she was going to, I'd be like, oh, you're walking away now? Now you're going to, and meanwhile, she would just go and process it and then come out and be like, okay, this is what it is. My daughter's more like me, out now. Let's just get it out on the table. I want it fixed so we could move on. Yeah. And my son and wife, not that.
My wife won't apologize to save her fucking life. She has the hardest time. Yeah. And my dad raised me kind of, I wouldn't say it's great. Well, I got into a big fight with my daughter Georgia. My daughter Georgia went to the Glendale Mall or Pasadena Mall, Glendale Mall with her friends, lost her phone, and then calls us from a bus on a friend's phone. And
oh wow,
yeah, and it was like, "Hey Dad, I'm on the bus. I lost my phone." I'm like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And I cursed at her. I was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck are you doing on a fucking bus? Where's your fucking phone, baby? This is not fucking acceptable." And they got upset at me. Everyone in my family got upset at me because I cursed at my daughter. And I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "That's how I was parented." My dad would curse at me.
Yeah.
And, just tell me you're a fucking idiot. What the fuck? Go to your fucking room. But I told you that little story to get here, but like, I'm very self-correcting. So like, because my dad never was wrong in my childhood, and I always had to go to my room and figure out why I was wrong, and then come down and apologize to my dad.
Right.
I'm really good at apologizing, almost to a fault. Like, okay. So I taught my wife how to apologize. I was like, listen, we don't have to. We can just find out what you want, and then find out what I want, and then find a middle ground.
Right.
Apologize, and then we'll both be happy.
Yeah.
My wife still.
No, I'm the apologizer too. My wife, not so much.
Oh, and it trickles to your kids because Georgia and Isla one time got in a fight in a pool, and they're kicking each other in the vagina or whatever. Like, it was just a fucking bad fight.
Wow.
It was like fucking trying to hurt each other, and I'm like, whoa. Pull them out. This is a long time ago. And by the way, this is an above ground pool I'm talking about. Okay. This is when we had the house. We hadn't redone the house. So we're sitting in our yellow kitchen, and maybe they're like third grade and first grade, right? Maybe. I don't even remember. But young. And I go, you guys are sisters. You guys are teammates. Realize one day Mom and I won't be here, and it'll just be you two. Yeah. You need to have each other's backs. You guys need to be a team, a unified front. Georgia, there's only one thing you say to your sister right now. And she looks at me and she goes, Isla, I'm sorry. I love you. And then I go, Isla, there's only one thing you say to your sister. And she goes, Georgia, I accept your apology. I go, no, you fucking idiot. Say you're sorry. She goes, I'm not sorry. Yeah. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, I'm not sorry. She started it. I'm not wrong in this, Dad. And I'm like, hold on.
Oh, wow.
Just say you're sorry. One time, Leanne and her got into a fight so bad that I talked to Leanne and Leanne's. This is like fucking 7 a.m. I talked to Leanne and Leanne's closet, and I go, "Hey, let's squash this shit." She goes, "No, I'm not squashing this shit. I'm the parent. I'm right. Yeah. She's wrong." Isla is standing in our bathroom. Leanne leaves, doesn't say a word to her. Isla comes into the closet, and I go, "Isla, listen, we got to squash this shit. I need you to go up to your mom, give her a hug, and say you're sorry." She goes, "Dad, if I say I'm sorry, she'll know I'm weak and I lost." And I go,
what?
Oh my. I'm like, how fucking broken are you?
Oh my God, but that's a strong girl.
Fuck.
Holy shit.
She'll know I'm weak and I lost.
Weak and I lost?
I can't
Does she play sports?
I can't give in, Dad.
Does she play any sports?
No.
Oh my God.
Fucking weird.
That's one of the most gangster things I've ever heard. My son and daughter go at it too, and I tell my son, like, she looks up to you, man. That's the thing. He's 10 and she's 7.
Yeah.
And she looks up to him like he's a god. She loves her brother, and sometimes he finds it annoying. He loves her too. And I told him, I was like, listen, you and it got to the point where I had to give him a really bad example because one kid in his school like collapsed and had like leukemia, and the kid was a bully for a while, and now the kid's in a wheelchair, can't really speak after being this active kid. And it got so bad with my son, and I'm saying to my wife, should I go there? Because he's not getting it, and like he's hurting his sister's feelings. So finally we were just driving. I was driving him to basketball camp, and I said, hey buddy, I said, just be, you know why, God forbid. I said, what if something ever happened? I said, you remember what happened to your buddy at school? And he's got a brother now that sees him like that. Do you imagine if, God forbid, something like that happened? How would you want somebody to remember? And I saw him in the rear view. I did it. I eased the blow, though. I wasn't like, what if someone's in a fuck? I didn't do it like that. Yeah. I just kind of, and I looked in the rear view, and I just, because he's a very smart, sweet kid. He's got empathy. My daughter.
I think you're going to say emphysema.
No, he smokes cigars at 9. No, I just saw him take it. I saw him take what I said, and I go, yeah, man, it's because it's for you two forever, and like that's all you got. Because I said, out in the world, That's all the fighting. That's all the fucked up shit out in the world. I go, your sister and you are going to be able to, and he kind of took it in. And I think it is better, but I also think it is a sibling thing too. It's just what it is. It's a normal thing.
Me and my sister got really close in high school. We got really close. And we're still, I'm very close with both my sisters, but my older of the two, in high school. Now we're like, we go to like spin class together. We do a lot. I do more stuff with her than I do with my wife.
They're out here?
Yeah, both my sisters live out here.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Would you live out here?
No, I'm New York.
Yeah. How long are you out here for?
I'm just out here for a couple of days. I got a meeting and then I'm flying out. I'm doing
the Bill's house?
Pittsburgh Improv. I was gonna, but
because he's not out here.
No.
But I guess his wife and kid are.
No, they were actually all in New York too for the. It's funny coincidentally, the first major motion picture that I got, he was in, and it had nothing to do with Bill. So he found out I was in the movie because he's out there. We're doing the Judd Apatow, the Pete Davidson movie.
Plane crash.
What's that? No.
Sorry, Pete.
No, for a second I was train wreck.
Yeah, train crash.
Oh, I didn't even know what you were meaning.
No, train wreck was.
That's what I thought you were doing.
That's what I meant to say. Plane wreck. Because that fucking joke missed so hard. Judd Apatow did a movie with Amy Schumer called
Train Wreck.
Train Wreck. He's doing one with Pete Davidson about Pete Davidson losing his dad in 9/11 in the same vein. And I said, what are they calling it? Plane wreck?
I didn't know what you were doing when you were just like, I thought you were doing a pun off a train wreck. No, it's
it's a great. It sounds like a great movie.
No, it's gonna be really awesome. And I read for the thing, and you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. So, Pete's a friend of mine.
Yeah,
and I knew that Marissa Tomei and Burr were in it. And I knew that a bunch of comedians.
Marissa Tomei is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Down the line, Marissa Tomei is fucking amazing. Did you see her in the when they did the remake of
yes,
Archie Bunker?
Yes. I mean, that Edith Bunker was incredible.
She is amazing.
She's great. And she plays, I guess, Pete's mom in the movie. So a bunch of comedians in New York were trying to read for it. Bunch of comedians in New York trying to audition for it.
Did Joey Gay get in it?
Pete said, I don't think he did.
That's a fucking travesty.
I don't think he did. I don't know. No, I don't think he did. But so I go in Pete's like, I was like, listen, man, I know everyone's asking you a million things. I was like, because he said to me, he's like, I want you to read for a part. I said, listen, you got a part for me to read? Great. If not, he goes, I appreciate that, Paul. He goes, either way, it's Judd's. Judd has to see on film. So I go there and I do the audition, and I find out that I actually got something that I'll tell you off air. I can't say here because of contractual stuff, but I got this thing that was amazing, and Judd liked it. So anyway, I do the movie, but when I'm about to, like, when I have to go in for costume, and now I've done an independent before, and I've done Funny or Die sketches, I've done shit like that, but this is the first like first major motion picture, and so I had to have a mustache, right? And they like this lady, the makeup and costume people, I guess like the AD and everybody said, just keep calling him and making sure and keep getting pictures of their mustache. So like, and it got to the point where like,
who?
Keep calling me about my mustache.
Yeah.
They needed to make sure. You didn't shave it, did you? Okay, can you just send an updated picture? So I'd literally be sending.
You had to grow a mustache.
And I wanted to be like, dude, I'm fucking Greek and Italian. Like, it's not a problem at all.
Yeah.
And they were like, can you keep sending it? So I'm going down to the west side, going down the West Side Highway, and I'm going to Gotham. And I pull up to a light, and the costume lady goes, Paul, I don't mean to be a bother. And I said, no, it's whatever. And then she asked me again, how's the mustache, this and that. And I pull up to a light, and I'm about to make a left. And I try to send the emoji of the thumbs up, but my thumb goes down, and I just give a big middle finger emoji. And I just got this movie, and I'm going, no, wait, sorry. And then they said that they were reading it on set, and they were crying, laughing. I go, no, seriously, I didn't mean that. Sorry. And it just,
middle finger
and it was like, and when you do a single emoji,
eggplant donut.
It's huge.
Yeah.
So like she was like saying, hey, I'm sorry. How do you feel about us keep asking you? And instead of me doing a thumbs up, it was just a giant middle finger. And I called her. I even called her in a panic. No, you don't understand. I'm like, I'm gonna get off this movie before I even make it, because they're gonna be like, this guy's difficult. We just want to find out about the mustache. And then they ended up laughing about it.
Burr grew a mustache too, right?
Pretty much like 90% of the cast had to have a mustache. They were just
no one had mustaches in 2001.
It was 2000, and this takes place a little later. So yeah,
Okay.
I think.
I don't know the script. I just thought it was all around. I thought everyone played firemen.
I want to say like maybe early 2000s. I don't know.
It's around on September 11th, right?
I think around. I don't know the exact time of it, but there were mustaches. They wanted mustaches for the definitely for like some firemen or something. So
yeah, that's crazy. I think Pete's great.
Oh, he's dear friend of mine, great dude. And
where did you meet him in the clubs?
Yeah, so I remember years ago, when I first started opening for Bill, I opened for him at Caroline's, and I remember just seeing this young kid on the side of the stage, and I didn't know if, he was like one of those people with that age disorder.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know I didn't know if this fucking kid was 46 or 10.
Yeah.
And he was just sitting there like this big lanky, and I saw him at a club once, and he's like, "Hey man, love your podcast. I saw what you did with Bill, man. When I was watching you with Bill, I was like, man, that's what I want to do." And he was just this young kid, 16, 17.
Yeah.
Then he started working at the stand, the old stand location. And he was on my podcast at 18. And people were like, who'd you have on that? Who's that young kid? And I was like, you guys will see. People started talking about him. Nick Cannon put him on, and Nick Cannon started to like.
Did he do Guy Code?
He did Guy Code, and he would, and I think, and Nick Cannon started kind of introducing him.
And Nick's Wild and Out.
I think after he started to be established, he did like Wild 'N Out for a little bit, but then got on Saturday Night Live. But yeah, so Pete's always been a friend, and him and Bill have always been close, and he just kind of stayed.
If you had to give one of them cancer, and they die,
oh no, I couldn't.
And you only get to keep one.
I'd give it to myself. I couldn't. I couldn't do that. I'm not built like that. That's a tough one.
Bill's he really is a fantastic guy.
The thing that people don't know about Bill Burr and
people may not know this, but you've been opening for Bill for what, like 13 years?
I stopped opening for Bill. I stopped opening for Bill years ago because once the special came out, and like we had this like epiphany at the same time where I was just kind of, and I, not in a disrespectful way, but we were on a rooftop smoking a cigar in Toronto years ago. And he was like, yeah, this is, and I was like, yeah, dude, this is going to be done. And then in Minnesota, he was just like, I was like, dude, I actually knew. It came to a point where I was sitting in a green room and I was just like, he's like, dude, you're just, you're getting headliner laughs. And then the special come out, special did good. And I started headlining all
special
the
was like the most viewed Comedy Central.
Special broke a lot of their online. Like people were like, why can't we see this again? It did really well. And the nice thing is they're streaming, so people still hit me up about it. So I'm touring improvs and I'm headlining myself, doing my own. Bill has other stuff, but we made a pact because we're so close. He's like, even though we don't work together anymore, we always go to one college football game a year.
Yeah.
This year I think it's going to be Clemson. Last year we went to the Big House in Michigan. We always do that, and we'll always do like a theater or two a year. But Bill is my son Lucas's godfather. Bill's my brother. So I met Bill in 2005, man. I met Bill Thanksgiving weekend of 2005, started working with him probably in like 2007, 2008, but just on and off.
I met you in probably 2007.
So I opened for you at Levity Live, I opened for you at Levity Live, maybe like 12.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think it was actually 2012, Levity Live.
Yeah.
In between shows, you jumped on my podcast, and then Roland and Sam Roberts were in the crowd.
Yep.
And then we went to the Yard House for drinks afterwards. You were like, hey, man, I think you should meet these guys. By the way, you always just gracious and great, man. Even then, when I just met you that weekend, you were like, yeah, why don't you come on, man? Like, come with us and stuff like that. But that was fucking 7 years ago, dude.
Seems fucking.
I mean, it's crazy how
I shaved Roland's back that night.
Did you?
Yeah, in the bathroom.
That's hilarious.
That was that seems like a lifetime ago.
That's the funniest memory to just be like you had like a deep thought and then you go, I shaved Roland's back that night. Like it was some.
It's crazy. I've always invested in people I believe in.
Yeah.
Meaning I go, I don't know. This is going to sound super silly, but like I thought Sam Roberts was the funniest fucking guy in the world. The first time I ever heard him on air. Like the first time I heard him on air, I was like, this guy's fucking hilarious.
Right.
Roland's just the sweetest guy in the world.
Too sweet.
You don't get nicer human beings than Roland.
He's like too sweet.
But man, I remember running into Sam and Roland, I think at the mall that day, going, why don't you come to my show? And then hanging out with them that night with you.
Yeah.
And I thought Sam's an interesting human being in the way I look at things, because I thought he was funny I want to say
ago.
way before anyone. Like I was just telling someone last night. We ran into Miss Pat, and you know Miss Pat?
Yes.
And so we were at a birthday party with Miss Pat, and Leanne said, she owes a lot to Ari. I went, what? She goes, yeah, Ari discovered her. I go, God damn it. I go, she did my podcast way before she did Ari's podcast.
Yeah.
He just released it first.
Yeah.
I go, Ari called me and said, what's up with this Miss Pat chick? And I was like, oh, she's great. Now, she owes a lot to Ari. And I shouldn't owe anything to anyone. Miss Pat's fucking hilarious. But like Ari definitely was a champion of Miss Pat. Like he hit up everyone like, you got to have her on her podcast. Like Ari's great about that. Ari really is one of the, there's like a few fucking just solid dudes in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Rogan, Burr, Ari, Joey. I mean, they're like, just like, they say what they mean.
They're real.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just real and they're good. They're good people and stuff. And you know what's funny is like a lot of comedians. Did you have anybody see you? Like, who was the guy that saw you and goes, yo, dude, you're
Jay Moore. Jay Moore was that guy. He was like, you're fucking hilarious. You need to be put on more. He got me on Jimmy Kimmel. He took me on tour with him. And we were really close. I think ultimately, if I would never trash anybody. I'm not going to talk shit, but I think ultimately it was at times it was a tad bit unhealthy. And I think it was maybe from his view when he wanted it to be, it was a business relationship and less of a friendship. And then and other times it was more of a friendship than a business relationship.
Right.
And so I think it was confusing to me at times of like how we were going to interact because certain times you could say whatever you wanted, and then certain times you'd say that, and it would not be received well. And so, and then obviously we had an ultimate falling out because it was just a very confusing relationship. But I have to say that he definitely
helped you.
He took me on tour with him. I don't know how long. Me and Tom Segura were his guys. Yeah.
No, it's if you talk to a lot of comedians, everybody's got like that guy. Like
the problem is. The problem is, what Bill said to you. I don't think was said with me and Jay. And by the way, I've never talked about this shit. But like, Bill was like, "You got to stop featuring. You need to be headlining. You can't ever be someone else's guy. You got to be your own man."
And we've talked about that.
That's like the number one thing.
Yeah.
If you're a young comic and you're like, "Dude, I just wish I could open for Rogan, or I could open for Joey, or I could open for Bert, or I could open for Tom." That's great. But you got to get out of there. You got to literally, it's like cocaine, man.
Yeah.
You got to try it a little bit and then get the fuck out.
And the thing is, a lot of people thought I was Bill's opener always. I wasn't. He's here.
Yeah.
He was here. So he had a bunch of Dean Del Rey and Joe Bartnick and this one and that one. But he always made sure during the year we did some together. But then it got to the point where it was just like, and it was weird. Like I felt it, and I didn't want to as much. It wasn't like we didn't hurt each other's feelings. We both looked at each other, and he knew what I was thinking, and I knew what he was thinking, and it was just like, yeah, man, this is cool. But like me sitting in the green room getting ready to do 15, 20, and then bringing you up. It's these are your fans, and this is, and it just got to that point, but. He knew, and I would like headline my own too. And then once it got to the point where it was just like, this isn't what it is. But you're right, you can't be that guy. You can't have a life like that, a career like that.
Joe was very instrumental in like I think a lot of people's careers of going like, I'll take you out and let you get some great stage time, but it's got to be all about you. You need to be the headliner. And he launched careers. I mean, Joe launched careers. Like Joey, Tommy, Ari, all his openers, Tony Hinchcliffe, fucking Ian Edwards. I mean, Joe has been, and what's great about what Joe does is he goes and gets young kids at the store that maybe have never really traveled even.
Yeah.
And brings them with them.
But Bill did something really good for me. And at first I didn't know why. So I'd open for him in like 07, 08, and he would go, hey man, nice job. He would text me, nice job this weekend, right? A couple years it was like, nice job this weekend. You got, you did your job, great job. But then like in like 10, probably like 2010, 2011, he goes, hey, dude, that bit, you're set. So he went from going like, good job to you're set. And then once it got to like 2013, he goes, dude, what you're doing right now is a beautiful thing to see. I love what you're doing. You really turned a corner. So Bill never gave me false hope. Like, yeah, you did the job. You got them ready for me. But then it was like, then he started to really hone in on my act. Then he started to hone in on jokes. Then I got off stage in Ottawa, Canada, and he goes, dude, and he just basically said some words to me that I'll never forget in my life. And it was like, I could retire now. And then he was like, dude, I'll be a part of your special. And like, that's when everything, he wasn't like, I wasn't some young guy where he was going like, and he said, the worst thing you could do is give a guy false hope. You could say, hey man, where you're going to be. He used to say that. He would be like, I'm telling you where you're going to be. But once the material started to develop and I started to get personal and he saw something, that was when he sat down with me and was like, dude, and then he said things that he wouldn't say. And he was like, he wouldn't tell me that before. Because why would he?
Yeah.
You know, you want to, he wanted me to take the path up to get it.
Yeah. Sadly, I'm so the opposite. I just want people to talk about me. Like if you're my opener, I'm like, hey, what did you think of my set?
That's how narcissistic. Hey, nice job. So anyway, did you notice my,
I mean, it's funny because I think a lot of the guys that I work with, that I tour with right now are all doing their own things. They're all blowing up and doing their own things.
Yeah.
And I'm so selfish. I'm like, hey, can you not focus on your career and focus on mine?
That's so fun. Yeah.
Like, I mean, kind of need, like, I toured with Mark Norman. I hit up, I was going to Australia and I wanted someone to open for me. And so I was going to fly someone out. And I was staying extra long. So I was like, it'll be fun to be with somebody.
Yeah, yeah.
And I hit up fucking everyone. I fucking hit up everyone. And everyone's like, yeah, sorry, man. I'm doing my own thing now. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, good. Why would you? What about it? But you know, what's so funny is when I first started the business touring, I really believed in helping local comedy, like bringing in the opener, that their feature, their host, and not bringing anyone with me, like at clubs. Because I was like, you got to foster local comics. Like local comics I made a bunch of great friends by meeting local features.
Yeah.
And you know, the features that tour for the Funny Bones and the Improvs, those guys that are features that are getting work. I mean, you get some that are fucking idiots. Like I had fucking idiots.
Yeah.
I had people to this day I hate that I had to spend a fucking weekend with.
Oh yeah.
But then you meet some dudes like
that you want to help.
Eric Myers, fucking hilarious. Fucking Jay Snyder. Like there's some guys that like Jay Snyder's like, I haven't talked to him in a while, but like was a legit friend of mine.
Yeah.
Like he spent the night here. Like I met him. He was just so goddamn funny.
Yeah.
Like he was so fucking funny. He still is funny, but I mean, I haven't seen him in a while. He went through a divorce. I don't know what he's doing. He lives in, you know Jay Snyder?
I heard the name. No, I don't.
He's so fucking funny. But he was like, it was the things, what made me laugh about him was not what he was doing on stage per se.
Yeah.
But being off stage, he had such a unique fucking life. He was a twin, right? Him and his brother got in so much fucking trouble. Identical twin. Uh-huh. And him and his brother grew up in like a very, very fucking white trash, redneck. Like they got arrested their whole fucking lives. They got arrested so much that one time, one of them had warrants on him, right? And was like, well, shit, I got to go in. I got so many warrants on me.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn myself in as my brother. I'm not even joking. I think Jay wanted to turn himself in as his brother. And so what he did was he got his brother's tattoo.
Wow.
He got drunk and got his brother's tattoo on his arm and then went into the prison to turn himself in as his brother, but was so drunk, turned himself in as himself, woke up in jail the next day next to his brother, and he goes, I tried to turn myself in as you last night. They were the most, he got into this is one of my favorite, he got into a fist fight one time.
Yeah.
He was selling drugs to these guys. He had a kid. He had a kid, and he was selling like fucking coke or speed or meth to someone.
Wow.
And the guy decides to rob him and beats him up. but can't open the childproof door.
No.
So he's stuck in the. I mean, his stories were so fucking great that you were like, I wish you could get out of just telling jokes. I mean, it's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
It took me literally took me Rogan going stop and just tell that story.
Yeah.
And it took me 15 years to get there.
Yeah, yeah.
His stories were so fucking hilarious where you're like, and the things like just naturally, he called it cocaine. That's how he'd say it.
It was like from he's like a Southern dude?
Yeah, he's Southern. He's Southern as fuck. Hell yeah.
Cocaine.
I got a whole little cocaine. If you want to party. I don't mind partying. Well, I met him, he was sober, and then he started partying again.
Oh, geez.
He's a fuck. But you'd find guys like that on the road that I would just sit mesmerized and go like, tell me more stories. Dave Williamson, another one of my openers. I was with him yesterday at the birthday party with Miss Pat. He told me the funniest goddamn story the first time I met him in Louisville about having his dog. I was crying laughing so hard. But that's what I was always like, you got to foster local talent because it's so important.
I remember when Bill said, hey man, you want to work with me at the DC Improv? And I like going up to somebody like, now that I'm doing improvs and funny bones and stuff, I like going up to somebody that I really go, this guy or woman fucking funny, and they need a shot. They need to feature. They need to make that money and feel what it's like to be in front of. And I really want to do that for somebody that I think is, and I find few are annoying. A few.
You know what it was? Local big dicks.
Yes, that's what it's a local comic who's like thinks they're the shit or they deserve it. And isn't it funny how everybody who's not insecure, everybody who's not vulnerable, everybody who walks off stage like I'm the shit isn't.
Yeah.
Is not. But then it's the guys who are like, was that all right? What did you think of that? Those are the people that are funny, man.
Dude, I can tell you so many people I truly enjoy that I met on the road where I don't listen a ton. Obviously, people that know this podcast know that I like talking also.
Yeah.
But I just remember so many. I worked with this guy, Travis Charles, and he was going through some stuff. He was being so honest, right? We were in Richmond. He was going through some stuff with this other guy. It was like comedy beef. This one guy was running the scene or the open mic, and he had blackballed Travis, and Travis was trying, and I was trying to help talk through it with him, but I was just listening.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Did you ask your dad? Maybe did you talk to your dad about this? And he's like, yeah, I don't know if I can really. My dad's not that kind of dad. And I went, really? And he goes, yeah. He goes, what did your dad say? He goes, my dad said I should stab him. And I was like, oh my God.
Jesus.
Like certain, I got to be honest with you. I mean,
wow.
I worked with this guy, Eric Myers. Eric Myers is a accidental legend. He does not want this legend, but he is an accidental legend. He has probably the most prolific drinking problem I've ever seen in any.
Does this guy do a Taco Bell joke?
I'm about drive. It sounds like a woman, and he pulls into the drive-through.
I don't know. Does he have a funny voice?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, the stories.
Does he look like? Yeah, I'm trying to think.
First of all, he's fucking hilarious. I'm going to preface it with that. I've wanted to get him on my podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know how comfortable he is talking about his drinking. He has to be aware at this point that people have told stories about his drinking.
It's bad.
It's you know what? I'm a big drinker, and I don't think anyone should quit drinking. He should never drink ever again in his life.
Oh, because
ever. I would hope that he would be, but he was like, I worked with him with Louis C.K. and we stayed in a condo together, and he was sober at the time. And it was like I was watching him experience life for the first time. I just had a kid.
Yeah.
He was so young. He was like, yeah, I'm drinking. I don't drink anymore. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, they gave me these pills. They say take them every 4 hours. I go, what are they? And he's like, Xanax. I was like, you're taking Xanax every 4 hours? He was like, yeah. He was so high strung you couldn't even tell.
Wow.
And then he was like, and then at some point, I think we were talking about how you should record your sets. And he was like, yeah, I should record my sets, huh? So then Sunday, he's got a full fucking film equipment. And I go, where did you get that from? And he was like, oh, how crazy is this? I got a credit card. I just fucking put it on a credit card. You don't even have to pay for it. And I was like, oh my God. He was Louis C.K., by the way.
Yeah.
Thought this, I don't know if Eric ever knew this, but watched every one of his sets and thought he was genius. Louis C.K. sat in the back, mesmerized by him. He was so fucking funny. But like, if you always, like, that's what sucks about, I'm not going to name names, but like certain comics who believe they're a little bigger than they are and they take their team with them on the road. Yeah. And you're just doing a funny bone for the weekend and you're only getting $3,000, $6,000 and you got a fucking posse with you of like your opener.
That's crazy.
You're missing out on what comedy is. And comedy is meeting like-minded individuals who can't get offended, who you're going to fucking party with and have a great fucking time. It's so much fun to share a condo with someone you know nothing about, and by Sunday, all you know is that you both have a sense of humor, and you're both funny, and you're pissing yourself.
And you bonded.
Dude, some of my closest friends in this business, Tommy, I didn't know Tommy for shit.
Yeah.
My best friend, I met, we were in, I'll fucking, this is a perfect way to meet a best friend. We're in Brea. I'm touring with Jay. Tom gets the job through the Improv as the host, right? He's hosting. I'm featuring. Tom is chunky at the time. Okay. No beard. Just a little chunky. Sitting, eating chicken wings.
What year is this?
This is, it's got to be 2004.
Okay.
2003.
Oh, okay.
Tom's sitting in the green room in Brea, eating chicken wings, watching the Florida State game. I walk in and I go, hey. He goes, hey, I'm Tom. I said, I'm Bert. I said, Florida State? And he goes, oh, huge fan. I go, I went to Florida State. And he goes, you did? I said, yeah. Are you from Florida? He goes, yeah, West Palm. I said, I'm from Tampa. And he goes, shut up. I said, dude, I'm a huge Florida State fan. He goes, fuck, yeah. So I sit down. Jay walks in. He goes, the fuck is this? And I go, it's the Florida State game. He goes, turn it. And Tom goes, I got money on the game. And Jay goes, you got money on this game? He goes, yeah, I got $100. Jay goes, you got $100 on this game, and you're the fucking host. You're making $50 a night. You're a fucking moron. And walks out. I look at Tom. I go, hey man, welcome to the tour.
That was Jay just fucking with him, though, right? No, that was Jay.
That was Jay. Okay. I think Jay would admit. I haven't spoken to Jay in a long time. We don't talk or anything.
Right.
But I think Jay would admit at times in his youth he could be difficult.
Okay. You're a fucking idiot. Get the. Oh wow.
He was but it was so funny. I looked at Tom. I was like, "Welcome to the tour." And then Tom and I hung out that weekend, and I was like, "Hey man, if you ever want to do spots, if you ever want to come with me on the road, you can." I headline, and so I took him to Sacramento and watched him eat dick all weekend. It was the fuck. I've never seen someone bomb harder.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, I could just see your face, just reminiscing, sitting in the back. Watching that.
At the time, he had hair and it was combed. It was combed back. And I'll never forget, he started bombing. And as he did, he started sweating and his hair started falling. And at one point, he had one fin of hair, like a shark, standing up. And the audiences watch. This is when you understand, as people that are like, bombing is such an art form to watch.
Yeah.
That there's so many, it really slows down time and space. And things that you think wouldn't count so much. And the audience watched as that fin fell, that little thin strip of hair fell to the side. The audience watched, and I heard them go, oh.
Oh my God, dude. Bombing is one of the, because when you say it stops time, but you notice now, right? Like now, because no matter what level you get to, no matter what level you get to, I remember Burr saying something like, yeah, dude. Now you could bomb. It doesn't matter where you get to. You could do a joke that falls flat. The nice thing is when you have experience and you bomb, you're comfortable either addressing it or just going, okay, you didn't like that? Well, now you're not, you almost get defiant. Yeah. But when you're coming up and the room dies, you feel like you're having a slow, painful things. You notice how in your mind things get quiet? Things are even more quiet than the room in your mind, and you're going, oh my God, dude, they know. And in your mind, the funniest thing is you're going, everybody in here knows I'm dying. And then you need to, and it's a scary, lonely, dark place, man. And that's why at least now when I bomb, I've gotten enough chops where I could just go like either address it or just go get a little defiant. But I remember those days, dude. You know how funny is it when somebody's bombing and then they go,
what's the worst you ever bombed?
Oh man, I told a story once before. I'll tell you, this is, it's out of a movie. It's actually out of a fucking movie. Somebody hits me up and goes, Virzi, I used to do this once a year fundraiser or event at Sleepy Hollow Country Club. Sleepy Hollow Country Club is a beautiful golf course in Westchester, and they did something called the Headless Horseman Award every year. All 1%ers. Okay, the lowest amount of money in this room is probably 10 to 15 million in the bank, and that guy is looked at as a piece of shit. Yeah. That's the level of money. Okay, so all of these rich guys, they play a round of golf. They shower, they change, cigars get handed out, people are shaving beef, people are giving out shrimp. I mean, there's ice sculptures, and they have a whole team of just people working for them. And then in the back, there's a big stage and white chairs on a lawn like a movie. It's basically like a movie where somebody's going to give a commencement speech, right? Yeah. So he goes, hey, you want to run down here and they'll give you $2,000. You go up. You could make fun of the guy who's winning the award this year, right? The guy who's winning the award, the Headless Horseman. He's going to be right at the front with his brother and father-in-law and all these people. You could mess with him. They like a little roasting, right? So I go, Jason Lawhead was in town at the time, and I go, hey man, you want to go up and just do like, and they were like, yeah, you could bring. So, you know, they were giving like Jason like 1,000, me 2,000, and we're just going to go and do this thing. We get there and it's all dudes, and it's fucking the testosterone, you know, and you could tell like, you don't even know the shitty golfers act like they're, you know, hey, how you doing? Who's doing the show? Like it was one of those things, right? And they're carved, and then they go and there's like a gourmet. It was nuts. And Jason goes up and I'm waiting, and we get the checks, and I got the $2,000 in my back pocket, right? And Jason goes up and he just starts. And I go, hey man, the one thing, I'm just going to talk about the race. Okay. Like the one thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk about how like there's really like honestly, like the only black people or minorities in there were like either working, like this was as white rich as it could get. So I go, I'm going to do the race thing. So Jason goes up, and it's so intimidating. He said something like, man, the only black thing in here are the Blazers. So he does something like that, right? So then he starts saying this, and he starts saying that, and he's killing now. And I'm waiting, and he's fucking leveling. And he's like, all right, guys, I'm going to head. And they're going, one more joke. Then he does another joke and kills, right? So fine. He's like, they don't want him to get off. He gets off. They bring me up. And I just remember going up there and being like, yeah, keep it going for Jason. You know, wasn't he great? And I said something like, if you guys knew what he had in his checking account, he wouldn't be allowed on the premises. And they didn't like that because they liked him. Yeah. They liked him. So I'm already behind the 8-ball. And I'm just going like, I just start going, and it's just starting to go bad. And I start talking about, hey, how was the golf? And who's the guy who's the cheater that, you know, hits it in the woods and tries to, and they're all just looking at me. So then I go, all right, just go to the roast the guy who won the award, right? Listen to this, Bert. They told me his wife's name was Lindsay, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is already so fucking bad.
I love how
I know where this is. I know.
You're bringing me. You're scaring me. Your reaction, the way you just go, oh my God, and looked away from the mic got me nervous. Like I'm still doing it. And I go, yeah, keep it going for so-and-so. I go, yeah, this guy's got his hands. What did I say? This guy's got his hands on a lot of paper and plastic because he's a millionaire. And I go, but when I mean plastic, I mean his wife Lindsay's fake tits. And all of a sudden, you just hear people go, whoa. Like, and I'm
whoa, easy.
Bert, I'm sitting there, and now jokes are dying. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. They're just staring at me. Oh my and then God. Here's when it really goes. Here's where it really goes. I started making fun of New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, right? And I go, and and I go, yeah, this guy, and I start talking about how he's going to balance a budget, but his diet, and all of a sudden I go, if you can't, I start calling him a fat fuck or something, and one guy, and they're just looking, and Lawhead's in the back, and right as I start shitting on Chris Christie and calling him a fat fuck, this guy leans over to Lawhead in the back and he goes, yeah, we just threw him a $3,000 a plate fundraiser last week in South Carolina or something. So like they all were supporters
of Chris
now of Chris Christie. So I'm calling him a fat fuck. He can't balance his diet. How's he going to balance a budget? All this shit. I'm just doing all this stuff.
God.
And and they're just looking at me, and it was so bad. I'm sweating up there. I'm getting nothing. It was as if a director of a comedy goes, all right, guys, everybody in the audience, I want you to stare at him angrily. Okay? I want everybody, nobody laughs. And in fact, I want some people to stare. And then one old man towards the end just goes, all right. While I'm on, so he was like he just couldn't handle that I was going.
That's enough.
And I was like, and then I got to fight. I go, no. And then I did a couple more. I left. I literally, Bert, when I tell you, thank God the check was in my back pocket. I had $2,000 in my back pocket. I walked literally stage left off the stage, opened the door in the parking lot, and just sat in my car. And Lawhead's going, where are you? Where are you? And I just go, I'm in the car. Wow. And he gets in the car. He did that thing where, like, you know, when a friend tries to lift you up, but there's really nothing you could say.
Yeah.
And he just goes, hey, dude, listen, you're a great comedian.
Oh.
And I was just like, that one will burn in my brain. That one will stick. It was literally like a movie, man. It was just nothing I did worked. Things that I did, maybe I was going to touch on that Jason they just loved him. It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal.
Oh, those are they're defining moments in your career. Like if you don't have those, then you're not a comedian. If you're not, like, everyone has had them.
I agree with you. If you don't have that feeling of like, oh my God.
If you're a comedian, you go, I don't bomb.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I don't think you do comedy then.
Yeah.
You're doing something that isn't taking chances. You're doing, I mean, if you're not, I have times where I woke up the next day and was like, I remember bombing so hard right before I shot this last special with a joke that's in the special. It bombed so bad.
Yeah.
And like agents were in the room and like comics were in the room. And I was like, I woke up the next day going, who am I kidding? I'm not ready to shoot a special.
Yeah.
I suck.
Oh, isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? And you're a guy that's super funny, doing great specials, and then you go in ready to shoot another special going, am I even ready for this? That's the beautiful thing about comedy, though. Comedy always keeps us honest. Comedy always keeps us going like, like I remember when I'll Say This came out on Comedy Central, when it came out and it did well, I went into the comedy club and I saw younger comedians come in and watch. And I'm like, I'm not going to do things for the special. Because it's a special just aired. And I toured with that. I know it works. So I would go up there and take chances. And things weren't going well right after the special because it took me, Bert, I'm not going to lie, it took me about 4 months.
No one understands that. Like, if my special just comes out and you see me at the store, I'm not going to be doing well. I have nothing to say.
Yeah. And we're still, and then watching comedians slowly just trickle out after they watch for 5 minutes. Because now they're like, and then once it gets good, they're like, oh, that was really funny. But, I agree with you. I think that you can't not bomb. If you're not bombing, you're either pandering or you're just staying safe. And if you're I drive an hour I live up in the country, dude. Yeah. I live up in the fucking woods. When you pull up to my house, I'm not even kidding. I fucking hand fed a deer a box of graham crackers the other day, a box. Like she just petting this deer behind her ear. Like that's where I live. And I'm not going to drive from that to the city to be safe. I used to when I first was in the city, because now you're in New York City and like, you better be funny. Yeah. But now it's like, now that luckily I've established myself in some of the bigger clubs, I'm like, I'm going to come down here and if I eat it, and the bookers are cool.
Yeah.
See, that's the other thing. Like, let's talk about that for a second. A booker and an owner like Patrick at the stand, they'll laugh if you bomb. Like they'll watch you and they'll be like, hey, this is one of our guys and he just ate a dick because he tried a joke. And they're laughing because they know what you're doing. That's good for comedy. That's what a booker and an owner should do because they know and trust. They know on a Saturday night you're going to bring, it's Saturday night. It's like you're still going to give them a good show, but they'll watch, if they are watching, they'll see some of the new stuff, be like, oh man, this dude's trying to grow. And they encourage that. That's what a great owner is.
That's same with the store is like, oh, you're never going to lose spots because you bomb. Like ever. That's the point.
Exactly.
You gotta fuck. There's no. I mean, Bill fucking started it. Bill and Louis started it about turning over material. Like, people weren't doing that. I did not do that for like 10 years. I had the same act.
Right.
That Comfortably Dumb special, that set was so fucking destructive in the clubs. It was such a great, and then I was like, cool, I'm done. 2009.
Is that your set list?
That was my set list. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great poster.
It looks like it looks like a set list for a fucking alt-right speaker now. Like, you look at it and you're like, Jesus Christ.
I still have that I still have those in my back pocket. Still to this day, that's my security blanket.
I bring
I will, and you ever have the set list or the paper in your pocket, you never take it out?
You know what I did for that secret time? I think it wasn't secret time. I didn't do it for secret time. I did it for the machine.
Yeah.
I wrote my set list on the stool in paint pen. I bought my own stool, and I put my set list on the stool in paint pen.
And it was up there.
So that if I needed it, I could go to it.
Well,
I didn't need it.
And you never went to it.
Never went to it.
Yeah.
But I knew that.
But it was there.
Yeah, and so then on secret time, I bought my own stool, and I was like, I didn't have that many jokes in it. I mean, I did, but like, for me, there was only like, I call them tent poles, but like, I only had 3 tent poles in it. So yeah. I just had to get from one to the next to the next. So I was like, I don't really need it. And my daughter's got a paint pen and wrote, I love you, Daddy, on my stool. And I went, they did it at the Troc. And I've stopped. My joke book is so fucking messy.
Yeah,
that like I'm like, but I'm right now. I'm getting ready to shoot a special in November. So right now I'm writing a lot. Like I'm trying to. I've already got the hour, but I need to fill it. I need it to be full of teeth. Like it's got to be it's got to be real toothy. Like I want everything to be.
That's where I'm at. Like right now, I think my next one I want to shoot it early 2020. Because it's been 2 years. My special didn't come out, didn't get released for like a year from when I shot it.
For real?
Comedy Central. Yeah, it took a long time scheduling other things, other shows that they had. But yeah, I want to shoot the next one, and I have about. Like, it's funny. I built it. I have about 50 that I love. So by February, March, it'll be ready to go. But I know what you mean. It's like just getting all of the reps in where you're like, oh, I could add that in.
Yeah.
I could add that. I heard the story of Louis a week before he shot his last special. A week before he was doing a show and like added a couple of lines that killed. I was like, oh, I'm putting that in next week. Like it was just like right there. That happens. Yeah. So it's just
I'm that way.
Yeah.
Well, what happens to me is, I'm sure anyone gives a fuck about how we create specials. But anyway, I will say, for anyone who's a comedian listening, what I do is I can very quickly recognize my lazy writing. So, but I need to watch it. So I'll shoot my sets. This starting in September, I'll shoot San Francisco. I'll then chop it up into clips on video that I will kind of take, and I'll work that clip. I'll work bit by bit, and I'll find lazy writing. Like I had a joke about jumping out of a plane with Rachel Ray, and very easily I could see where my writing was lacking.
Got it.
And I was like, oh.
That's good that you do that, though. That's good that you don't just, because a lot of guys will just throw it in. A lot of guys will just, fuck it, just throw it in. My fans know me. No, it's like you gotta, that's a good thing because it's going to show that you're always trying to, how crazy is that like Richard Pryor, right? After like his second one was just like, it's not good enough. I got to get better. Think about that. How crazy, like it's never getting, but that's good that you're not, you're not, are you doing it for Netflix?
Yeah.
Nice, man.
November 23rd.
That's when you shoot it?
Shoot it.
Where are you shooting it?
Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to record 4 shows. Chappelle did 9 shows.
Wow.
He recorded 9 shows. Not to say that he's not the greatest. He is.
Right.
But if you record 9 shows, you're gonna have it.
I actually.
What did you do? 1?
I'm dying. No, for mine I did 2.
Yeah, I did 2.
I did 8 and a 10, and I pretty much they told me, oh, the 10 will just be filler. You got it on the 8. I was not happy with the 8.
I was not happy. That's why I wanted to do 4.
I was not happy.
That's why I wanted to do 4, because I did 2 last time, and trust me when I say that first show sucked dick. And I was murdering all week. I did 6 shows at the Troc. I did 2 Thursday, 2 Friday, murdered. And then I did the first show and it just didn't go right.
People, like, I had friends there going, I'm going to be honest with you, that was really good, but I know what you can do. And then my agent, you did it. I'm going, no, I didn't. Dude.
It's an agent's job, though.
I know when I really, but it freaked me out though, Bert, because I first came out 8:00, first time, and Pete Davidson and Bill Burr came out on stage to talk about me first. And I walk out there and I think it's going to be a regular theater show. I did it at the Terrytown Music Hall. And it's, for a special, it's more lit. So like, I'm like seeing people on the balcony and it didn't feel it felt like a studio audience instead of a theater show.
Yeah.
So I was just into that. Second show, I just chip on my shoulder. I go, okay, now I know what to expect. And I think we got the majority of it. We got some candid shots from the first one, a couple of jokes, a couple things like that. But mainly it was my second one because I just knew I kind of like got my bearings in it. And it's amazing. Same material.
We used every second of the second show.
Nothing from the first.
Not one. The only thing we used from the first show was me throwing my shirt to my cousin. My cousin happened to be in the audience. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I ripped my shirt off. I go to throw it in the thing, and I threw it, and my cousin caught it.
Yeah.
And it caught me off guard. I go, what the fuck? And he was like, hey.
Yeah.
We didn't use one fucking thing from the first show. That second show, beginning to end, was one of the best sets I've ever had in my life. I wanted to retire after that, going, it's not going to be better than that. That's the best I can do.
That's honestly how I felt when I did the round with Burr at the TD Garden in Boston and Madison Square Garden. But Madison Square Garden is my home.
I heard you fucking destroyed in Madison Square Garden.
I'm not gonna lie to you. People that I don't know in industry go, dude, man, that Madison Square Garden show. That was one of those where it's like if I was
in town that weekend. I think it was the New York Comedy Festival.
It was.
Yeah, and I was in town doing Town Hall.
Oh, okay.
And I got done. We went to the Comedy Central party, and they're like, "Bro," people were like, "Burr's show at Madison Square Garden, one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life." And I went, "What?" And they go, "Virzi fucking murdered."
Dude, it was like I got a publicist. I got like the best publicist in comedy because of it. Like, and it was funny. Questlove and Chris Rock were there, and I heard that somebody overheard Chris talking about me killing. But it was just one of those things where I was so nervous. I did the Garden with him years ago, but now it was like 5 days after my special got released. I was just a better comic. I had, things were just tight, but I was nervous. And I was like nervous to the point where like defensive nervous. And then that turned into, okay, like it was almost like I'm going into a fight and I'm willing to die.
Yeah.
And then once I just felt the love from them and I did the first couple of jokes, but it was one of those things where you just feel like, that was and Burr and having Burr just be like, dude, that was nuts. But let me ask you something. This is a kind of a crazy question. And think about it though for a second. What do you? Because you're a positive guy and you're a family guy. I feel like we're the same that way. What do you ultimately want at the end of this? Seriously though, because we don't ask ourselves that, and I always think about that, especially somebody that I know, somebody that I like. What do you ultimately? Because I was talking to my buddy Giannis about it. Giannis is a dear friend of mine. And I was like, what is ultimate? Oh, he's great. What do you ultimately like? And there was just, can I answer mine? Can I answer it first?
Yeah, please.
So something happened tragic this week. David Kimowitz, rest his soul, was my manager for almost 5 years. And then we didn't have a phone.
Tell everyone what happened. Because I know we all know about it, but they may not.
Okay, so people listening, David Kimowitz, who was a comedy manager, my comedy manager for almost 5 years. And one of the 4 owners of the Stand in New York City.
And it should be noted that the owners of the Stand are old school comedy fans, like comedy fans from when they were children.
Got into it because they wanted to like bring back what they liked, and there's no agenda. There was no, alternative shit is in now, so let's go get alternative people, or this isn't. They were just like, I don't care about your age. I don't care about that guy or that woman is fucking funny.
Patrick ran Cringe Humor.
Patrick ran a website called Cringe Humor, which was basically...
But you don't understand. Yeah. I need to be very clear on this so that everyone...
Yeah.
Cringe Humor was almost the Bible of who was good and who was not.
It was so brutally honest.
It was so brutally fucking honest. I'm probably accurate in saying Patrick was an O&A fan. I'm guessing.
Huge.
Yeah, huge O&A fan.
It actually started because of Jim Norton. So Patrick was the hugest Jim Norton fan. He would go see Jim. He would do this. And then what he started was this website called Cringe Humor, how he liked guys that were just real, brutally honest, maybe dark and uncomfortable, but real, and that was his type of thing.
And he also took joy in shitting on people he didn't like.
He took joy in a blog about somebody he might have thought was shitty or a hack.
Dan Natterman.
That's kind of...
Yeah, he went after Dan. I can tell you everyone he went after.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Gary Goldman, Dan Natterman. Now, he's all fine with all these people now.
Yeah.
But he was much younger. He might have been fucking 16 at the time.
Yeah,
I have no idea, but I will say it was the Bible. If you were... This is when the internet was just kind of like blowing up where everyone had it in their house. Like everyone, high speed was in.
Yeah.
And I mean,
it was when having a website was something. Right.
I bet I could find the email I wrote to Patrick. I wrote Patrick an email probably 17 years ago.
Wow.
I'm almost certain I could find the email I wrote to Patrick.
Wow.
Let me see if I can. What it would have to be cringe humor. I bet I could find the fucking email I sent to Patrick. All mailboxes.
Yeah.
But I'm to get back on track. So
sure.
Patrick, that whole group of guys are die-hard comedy fans.
Purists.
First.
Yes.
That's it. First.
They are comedy purists first. They just went after guys that they thought were funny, and then Patrick started to put together a series of shows in New York City at different various locations called Cringe Humor Shows, and it was Rich Voss and Keith Robinson and Jim Florentine and Jim Norton and all kinds of guys like that until ultimately they decided to start a management company, and then they all went in and they bought the Stand, and then that's when they were like, all right, the website needs to be shut down. We're going kind of more professional doing it like that. And David Kimowitz, rest his soul. I can't believe I have to say that. Chris Italia, Patrick Milligan, and Paul Italia all came and they opened the Stand, which is on 20th and 3rd. And then it shut down for a year till they just got this new location, which is, have you been?
I have not.
Holy shit.
I was thinking about flying out this month.
It's like a New York comedy store. You go downstairs and you have the main showroom, but then upstairs there's like a small showroom with these huge glass doors that close that are soundproof while people are eating in this gigantic, beautiful restaurant. It's insane.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, David and Chris Italia, part of CH Entertainment, they named it. They took the initials from Cringe Humor, obviously couldn't take the name. They managed me for almost 5 years. And then 3 years ago, it was just, things drift apart. It was never bitter. It was never, bad. It was just, move on and stuff. And unfortunately, last week, David was taken from us to a violent crime and unspeakable, unthinkable. And it really rocked the New York scene, and it rocked a lot of us. Really, really hard, man. And Bert too.
His au pair's boyfriend.
He had one of those flying,
fucking psycho.
Yeah, he had the nanny's boyfriend and her were breaking up. This is an individual David led in his home, I believe. And I don't want to speak ill, about the nanny or anybody, this was somebody that was trusted. And the nanny was breaking up with him. I guess he couldn't handle it. And he went to do an awful crime to her. And David ended up being there, and both of them lost their lives that morning, and it's just a brutal thing.
Fucking horrific.
It's one of the.
David was a very sweet guy. I met him for the first time. I met him, but the thing about those guys is they knew who everyone was. They were like, everybody. You gotta understand, like, if you're a comedy fan, they were all bigger comedy fans than you,
right?
That got into the business because of their love of what the art is.
Yeah.
And so I remember when I first met him, it was in Montreal a few years back, and I knew the Stand, I knew those guys, but I didn't realize who they were.
Right.
And I knew Patrick. I knew who Patrick was for like legit 15 years.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's when they started that Cringe Humor, was 15 years ago. And I was like, oh my, and then I put two and two together, and David watched me figure it out, and he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, wait, how do you guys interact with comics? Like, how does and they're like, it can be tricky. It can be tricky.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And for those guys to like sit down and have meetings and go eat with me. And this is, you're talking now 8 years ago. And I was like starting to just, hit New York hard, and they decided to work with me. But David and I can honestly say this, because a lot of people, when somebody dies, go, hey man, always a smile on the face. This guy truly was always smiling, and if you'd go at him and be like, no, fuck this industry, because I killed and they don't want me because of this, and he would just go, dude, we're gonna, you know what? We're gonna go back, and we'll go back and get him. And he was always the guy. Like I remember my Montreal audition in 2013. It was really good, both of them. And then afterwards, we didn't know for a fact if I got it. I ended up going that year, but we didn't know. But he's like, we're going to Korean bar. We're going to Koreatown. We're gonna go to Korean barbecue, and we just ate. And that's who he was. He wanted to eat at the finest places. He was a foodie. He loved stand-up. He loved music, always smiling. Before his beautiful daughters were born, he would show pictures of his nieces and nephews. I remember him always going, look at this, and laughing genuinely. 2 beautiful girls. It's such it's a tragedy, and it's awful. But that guy lived a way where, as devastating as it was, I was just like, man, that guy literally was always smiling. So when I ask you, I guess what I want is to do that. I want to keep doing what I love and have fun with what I love. I want to keep putting out comedy specials and keep doing it, but do it in a fun way where I'm enjoying it actually, and enjoying my family when I do it, and living the way David lived. So I know he's not a comic and you guys can't see footage, but that guy, every single person, and I think why New York City was so devastated, and why the comedy community, forget New York City, everybody that knows festivals, all this stuff, was because of the way that this guy lived his life. So that he's making me go, yeah, that's not a big deal. Like, that's not a big fucking deal. What am I worried about? And so that I think I'm gonna just take that. If you could take anything from this thing, because it's hard to wrap your head around. It's just that I'm gonna try to take that positive force and do, move along with how I live.
I was gonna say a boat. When you asked the question, Paul, what do you want? I was like, I want to be on a boat. I just want to be a boat. I want to.
I don't mean to make you feel like a piece of shit.
And then I'm hearing your answer. I was like, well, I guess I'm short selling myself.
I am a narcissist.
I want a boat, and I want to be able to be on a boat and not worry about money.
Well, let me ask you this: do you really want a boat?
Dude, I want a boat so fucking bad. But my wife is not a boat person. She has no interest in a fucking boat.
You want to really get a boat?
I wanted to buy a sailboat. We went and looked at beach houses in Ventura, right? Fairly affordable.
Yeah.
Oddly enough. And we had a great, the Oxnard comedy clubs up there. And they're...
Is that Levity?
Yeah, Levity.
Okay,
Levity Live.
Okay,
it's
yeah.
Great.
I've only been to the one in West Nyack in New York.
Yeah, it's a great club. And so I wanted to buy a beach house up there. Okay. So that we could go up there for extended times, and then I could just drop in and do spots at Levity Live on the weekdays. Just go, hey, I'm going to do a Tuesday show, sell some tickets, and then I was like, fuck that. I want to. We were having lunch, me and the girls, and I said, fuck a beach house. What if we got a boat, and then that's our beach house? Isla immediately is like, oh, we definitely need a boat. And George is like, Dad, I don't think you're thinking this through. And then my wife's like, honey, we're not getting a fucking boat. Isla and I are like, we're definitely getting a boat. We're definitely getting a boat. But yeah, I would like to be in life in a place where I could be in the Bahamas on a boat, and I'm not worried about anything. That's what I want. I want to not worry about anything, to be like on a boat, snorkeling, spearfishing, and fishing, scuba diving, drinking cold beers with my feet in the sand, and not worry about anything. Like anything. Go, just be like, I don't really care. Like, that's what I want out of life. I would love, God, man, I wish there was like a way you could like ring a bell in this game where it's like say my next special's like as good as my last one.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be better. I personally think people are going to, I don't know. I mean, I think my writing has gotten so much better. I think I've written the best joke I've ever written in my entire life. And that, I think this joke is so perfect. I think it's the perfect joke. I really do.
Yeah.
I wish you could just do that special, ring a bell, and then be like, "That's it, guys. I'm hanging them up. I get a paycheck every month, right? Like, I don't need a tour. I would love but there's.
But your love for it would come back. Like,
I could never get there.
You'd be fishing for like 2 months and be like, dude, I need to do a set.
I wrote a joke. I wrote a joke. Yes, I'm on vacation right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do a sabbatical where I'm doing podcasts, but I'm trying not to do sets because if I do sets, sometimes I'm not living.
Yeah.
And if I don't live, I don't have material.
You can't grow. That's 100%.
So I've taken 3 weeks off in August. I'm gonna start doing spots at the store again. By the way, I am doing spots every week at the store. I can't. It's like a fucking addiction.
It's crazy.
I said, no stand up. And then Tripoli hits me up. He's like, hey man, can you do Tuesday night? And I was like, yeah, I can do Tuesday. That's a fun show. I just won't call into the OR. And then I'm like, you know what? Monday, I might as well just tell them I'm going to be there if they can throw me up twice. It's a fucking addiction.
Yeah.
I go, at least I won't do weekends. I'm not going to do the weekend. I'm going to hang out with my family. It's like a fucking addiction, man.
It's crazy. What happens is my wife will go, you need to go do a spot because I'll start getting not mean, but like short and antsy.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, it's been a couple days. Like, and she's just like, go fuck, but I'm doing, I think every special, I don't think a comedian should put a special out if it's not, if in their mind, it's not better than the next one.
Oh, no. Yeah. The problem is, this business is like a treadmill and you put out a special and then it's well received. And then everyone's like, I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I will say I put out my last special and they were like, all right, when's your next one? And I was like, well, I'm close. And they're like, cool. Can we shoot it in March? By the way, this is my special aired in August.
Wow.
And they wanted to shoot it in March. So I'd had time to write.
Yeah.
But I literally was like, I said no. And I'm so, like, that's the one time I've ever said no in this business.
Yeah.
I said, it will be ready, but it won't be great. I said, if you give me until November to do one more tour with this hour, it'll be dialed fucking in. And I ran into Bill, and I said to Bill, Bill's like, I'm doing a special. And he goes, I said, are you ready for it? And he goes, Bert, this special this material's been ready for a year now. Yeah. And I went, that's how you want to go into a special.
I think Bill's, I got to open for his last couple, most of them, and he, not night of, but touring. And he would always be over ready. He would always be like, I remember being like, dude, you could have done that 6 months ago. He's like, yeah, like, oh.
You want to be there. You want to have every joke tied up. You want everything to have an ending. You want everything to be perfect.
Yeah, and it's funny you said that, man. It's so funny because I'm doing 2 bits right now that are the best jokes I've ever done, and I know this one is going to be better, and I just hope, plus, the Comedy Central thing, the editing is a different thing with them, and the commercials and all that. So,
Sucks.
That's a whole
What's
other.
your bet? Let's do this. What do you think? What jokes are you most proud of? Like that you go, God, man, that's when I came up with that. Even I was surprised.
Yeah, there's a joke I'm doing now about a movie theater by me that only hires people with disabilities. So everybody in the movie theater has Down syndrome, head injuries, diseases, wheelchairs, all the employees. And I do the joke, and the joke is basically, without getting into it.
Don't get into it because you don't want to burn any material. I don't
want to burn, but the joke is.
I already like how dangerous this joke is.
Oh, dude, and everybody, you just see people smiling, going, "Where is it going?" But everybody's got a disability there, and then I talk about how the service is incredible, and then I compare it to a regular movie theater, and the ending could not be more perfect, and everybody just goes, oh my God, dude. And then it's one of those where I say it and I just wait and it's just a wave. And then you hear them thinking about it. And then it's another wave and then sometimes an applause. And it's just one of those jokes where I'm like, I got one of those. Like, it was nice it was almost like fishing. And I'm like, I always catch maybe something little and then all of a sudden you just get that big fucking catfish, like in, was it Grumpy Old Man? Was it Grumpy Old Man?
Yeah.
Like you're just like the one that, and I was like, I got it. And this one is good. And then I'm doing a new one now that actually Burr was like, dude, I'm doing one about the WNBA right now. That is like, so I'm really, really excited about these 2 and the WNBA one is hot off the press.
In your past, what's a joke that you've told that you were like, what was the first joke you wrote? I'll give you an example. The first joke I wrote where I was like, fuck yes, was, you know what cops hate? When you touch their faces.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
That was my first joke where I was like, ooh, I think I can do this. And by the way, I wrote that.
That's fucking.
Having done, my first times I ever did stand up, I did, and I walked it through this whole bit. Patrice was there, and helped me with that joke because it initially was, initially was because I did it. I really did it in front of Patrice. I did it to a flight attendant. She was going to cut me off, and I just put my lips on her face and went, shh.
Oh, my God.
My finger on her lips and went,
oh.
shh.
Oh, my God.
And Patrice is like, did you just touch someone's fucking face?
Oh, my God. That's
And
so funny.
I was like, and then that night we were in Scotland. I said, you know what flight attendants hate? When you touch their faces. And Patrice is like, that's funny. You got to up the ante. I said, what? And he goes, you got to take it to another level. It needs to be like, what could be worse than that? And I think, well, I don't know if he said it or I said it. I think he said it. He was like, you know what cops hate? And I went, oh, fuck, cops is so much worse. He goes, that's the joke. And so that night I went up and I said, you know what cops hate? When you touch their faces. Next time you get pulled over, when the cop comes up to you and he goes, excuse me, do you know why I pulled you over? Take your finger, put it to his lips and go, shh. Oh, and then take off.
Oh.
And that joke, I was like, there we go. I got a joke.
Yeah.
My writing naturally is so lowbrow that like, that something that isn't lowbrow, I'm surprised I come up with.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean because you're used to, but see, I'm a storyteller too. So a lot of my storytelling, like I'm throwing quicker ones in now, and this one is kind of filled with stories and more of those.
But you know what's crazy though? Not to interrupt you, but that's the whole point of my podcast. I feel like I feel like it's so funny when I hear people talk about being storytellers now because I remember fighting being a storyteller. I remember not wanting to be a storyteller because it didn't work everywhere. Like you couldn't just do it everywhere. Now it's a lot easier to be a storyteller. The only person I'd ever say in my career, I'll tell you personally, the two fucking, I have to say two like forerunners in storytelling have to be Chris Titus and Mike Birbiglia. Mike Birbiglia was telling story. I don't even know Mike Birbiglia. I met him once. Yeah. Quite honestly, he wasn't that nice. But
yeah. I don't know him.
I don't know him. I don't know him at all. Man, I'll tell you, I watched his set in Tampa. That motherfucker is a storyteller.
Yeah.
Like, fuck all these. I remember one time hearing Dane say he was a storyteller. I go, bitch, you're not a storyteller.
Who?
Dane. I go, okay. Mike Birbiglia he went on stage and just started a story in a comedy club.
Yeah.
Started with a story and told an engaging, amazing fucking story. I was like, huh. And when I did The Machine, which is like, a fucking 13-minute story.
Yeah.
It's
great.
Held solace in the fact that other people were doing it too. Like I was like, I can't be the only fucking idiot telling a 13-minute story.
But yes,
Chris Titus is a fucking storyteller.
But dude, if you look back, I mean, not the greatest reputation, but Cosby, back then, and Eddie Murphy. So Eddie Murphy's my hero. Eddie Murphy is my hero.
Is a legit. I don't even know if he ever wrote a joke, like a stand-up, like set-up punch. He is a fucking Richard Pryor.
His drunk father saying to his mother that you can't go outside. And then he goes, Lillian may not. And then he writes a thing and he goes, you better call her and tell you, oh, wait, you can't use it. You better open a window and holler your motherfucking head off. That whole piece, you forget that it's Eddie Murphy.
Lillian cannot. Lillian, that is the funniest.
May never go outside ever again. But like Eddie brought, first of all, 25. How about nuts is that? He's 25 years old when he does that. He did Delirious at 22.
Lillian, that is, but by the way, in comedy, if you can get a word like Lillian can never go outside. Better call you. Oh, Lillian can't use her phone. I hope his next special is that good.
Dude, did you see him in Comedians in Cars? It was amazing.
Yeah, but
you can see the fear though.
It broke if you right when he said midget. And he caught himself.
But I also saw when I watched it, Bert, because I love him. I get the chills with him. I saw in him in Comedians in Cars when he's like, no, I'm going to do it. You could tell he's scared and he's got to let go of that because even when he did the Mark Twain, when he won the Mark Twain Award at the Kennedy Center, it took him a second, but when he let go and he started to do, even when he does Cosby, when he goes, he just stretches it like, ew.
What did he talk? He talked about Cosby and Comedians in Cars getting coffee, right? He talked about Cosby being just a fucking psycho.
Cosby being a psycho. And another thing that was interesting is he talked about how when he would show up to the club, Richard would leave. Richard would leave, and it was like, and there was a thing, and I didn't realize when they did Harlem Nights together, because that was him and Richard and Red Fox and all those people. But I heard that on the set of that, there was definitely Richard kind of saw him as the next guy coming and a guy who did what he did with super talent. And I heard that they weren't cool, but Richard was his hero. But
I got to be honest with you, man. I'm speaking out of my ass, so if I say anything horrifically reckless, I apologize.
Yeah.
There's always been that with black comedians. There's always been, because this business doesn't let black comedians succeed the way they do let white comedians.
So you mean like, so you're saying
Mike Epps and Kevin Hart,
right?
Fucking hate each other.
Do they?
Oh God, yes. All they've done is hate each other. Michael Blackson and Kevin Hart. There's so much. Cat Williams and Kevin Hart. I mean, everyone's going after Kevin Hart because, quite honestly, Kevin Hart's, man, the movie industry, and I think things are changing. Thank God. I mean, only because, as both of us will attest, our favorite movie star and comedian was Eddie Murphy.
100%.
Eddie Murphy. I've laughed so much with that man. I mean, I watched his specials when I was a kid with my parents. And he was like, "Faggots be looking at your ass.
Yeah,
fuck around and get AIDS." I remember dying laughing. Probably a little inappropriate, but
my dad took me at 10 years old to the theater. My grandmother and mother go, "You're not taking him to see Raw in the theater." We went to a movie theater called Movie Land in Yonkers, New York, and I watched Raw, and I was just fucking. That was it, dude. I was like nothing else was. I was locked into that and just those stories and everything. But I think Eddie's talent. Did you see him on Kimmel? And he was on Kimmel, and he just did a. I heard you called Tracy Morgan after his accident, and he just goes into a Tracy Morgan impression that like it was just like he did 60% of what he could do, and Jimmy Kimmel just looked at him and goes, "That's the greatest Tracy Morgan impression ever." Like Bert, he didn't even try to do Tracy. He did his neck. Like he didn't even just do his voice. He did his neck, and the Franks. Like, he just did.
Wait, can you pull that up? Can you? I know we probably can't show it, but I would love to see.
Oh my!
I didn't see that.
Just quickly. He goes, "Oh, I heard you talk to Tracy Morgan after," and he just does it, and he does his neck. And,
I love him too. You were the first guy to make him laugh, and called him and made him laugh. And he also told me, I think this was interesting. You play a cook in this film. Do you cook at all at home? I'm not.
Listen to how nonchalant.
He's nonchalant. It's like he's on a Xanax.
Yeah.
You made him
effortless,
as he said over and over again to me, "Ballpark Franks." He said, "I went over there, he made me Franks, Ballpark Franks."
God, man.
Watch. It keeps going.
That's why I'm always be cool with Eddie, because he made me them Franks. And when I was young, they used to call me Fat Murphy.
See the tilt?
It just, yeah.
You told me when he was young, they used to call him Fat Murphy. Everybody imitates Tracy Morgan. That's easily the best Tracy Morgan.
Like
look at how nonchalant.
He did the chin. Like if you watch, like he did the chin and the head tilt where nobody would do that. Everybody would just do the voice. He got like, and he didn't even, like he just on a fly. Like that's how fucking, I get the chills with that guy. I just hope that he doesn't let the fear, I hope he just, if here's the thing, I think you would agree with this too. We were talking about it on Bobby's podcast the other night. If Eddie does this, if he signs that deal for those millions and he does this, he's got to do it as Eddie Murphy. He can't do it as like.
Well, that's why they're giving him $70 million.
He's got to just let it go, man. And he's got to understand he's going to get criticism. Chappelle got criticism. They called him transphobic and all this stuff.
Chappelle's the greatest.
Eddie just needs to fucking go up there and just let it go, man. And I hope he does. I
wonder what he's going to wear.
I know.
I would fucking. I would, by the way, I would cancel my tour to go open for Eddie Murphy.
Oh my God. Every comedian's calling their manager going, "Hey, if he needs somebody, I'm doing," like that would be the ultimate dream. I see your wheels spinning.
What he should do
yeah,
is come out on my tour and open for me and do an hour. Yeah. And just because no one's like, you don't want to go set up a tour if you're Eddie Murphy working on material. He's got to work on material.
He's got his work cut out for him if he does.
Here's what sucks is that the way this fucking cunt country is working is that everyone's going to fucking videotape it, and I won't get to experience it brand new.
I know.
Everyone's going to fucking use your assholes. You fucking putting it. Eddie Murphy's new material is problematic. It's new material.
Yeah.
That's what they did to Louis.
Yeah, with that
it's
joke.
problematic. I work for cunt.com, and I by the way, is that a website available?
That's definitely, there's no way that cunt, I mean, I would put money right now that cunt.com exists. There's no way it doesn't.
By the way, you know how if you're oblivious to the offense, to being offensive, shame only works on it comes up.
It's available? Oh, I was going to put a price on it.
Can you buy cunt.com right now?
Oh my God.
Yeah, buy cunt.com.
How much is that?
Oh my God. Bert, what's your website? My website's cunt.com.
Oh my God. I'm a blogger for cunt.com.
Oh my God. Do you realize we can make $1 million at cunt.com? How is that available? How is someone not bought
Is
cunt.com?
it like not allowed maybe? Is it like it's like the forbidden word?
Make an offer, dude. Let's get cunt.com.
Imagine you had a fucking bidding war with somebody else. What are you willing to pay for cunt.com?
$10,000.
That you would go to 10 if you were bidding in a bidding war?
Cunt.com. I would start a public shaming website.
You didn't even hesitate. 10 grand. I'll go 10. 100%.
I'll pay 10 grand for cunt.com.
I don't buy. Some people are saying, Bert, I heard somebody go, I think Eddie's thing will be terrible. I don't think so.
It won't be.
Because it's not going to come out. I don't think listen, Chappelle and Rock and all them are going to be watching it and with him. They're not going to let that. Nobody's going to let that out unless they're like, you're Eddie again.
And by the way, he's still Eddie Murphy.
He's Eddie Murphy.
He's so talented.
Yes.
He's gonna go and he'll have some weak premises, and Chappelle will be like, hey, just so you know, I know you've been out of the scene, but that's like Rock did that 2 years ago. But I did that 5 years ago. Like and they're just gonna keep him fresh.
Yeah.
You know they're gonna fucking surround him. They're gonna be Yoder bags out the fucking ass. Someone's gonna write a fucking blog about his stand up because people don't understand that when you write a joke, it's not perfect. It's just a really bad idea sometimes that you go, there's something to this. Right. I have jokes that I have said on this podcast that I've taken on stage that worked in the room with my friends. I've taken on stage and this is how it should work is I had a joke about, I won't say what it was, but it was a joke about race, and I thought it was a good joke. And I told it, and this black dude and this black woman hit me up, and they were like, hey man, I would lose that joke.
Okay.
I understand what you're trying to get at, but it's not it. This black chick just came up to me and goes, hey, I'm a big fan. I've come to all your shows. I'm just letting you know that joke is not a good joke. And I was like, really?
Now, let me ask you, when you thought about it afterwards, after she said that to you, when you thought about it, you agreed? You were like, you know what? Maybe I don't, maybe it's not.
No, all I thought is I still have that premise in my head.
Right.
I'll wait until I see the right angle to approach. At the time, I was trying to force it. I thought it was edgy and cool, and
yeah.
And it was like I was like, what's so funny is that like I see, there's an easy hacky way to do it, but obviously the fucking long road is the one that's going to pay off the most. Like you want to take the difficult angle. It's like Burr's new special. Burr's entire career has been taking the difficult angle, taking the hard angle. We were talking about him at a fucking birthday party yesterday, quoting his jokes.
Yeah, Bill he go against the grain. He'll be a contrarian to what the main consensus is, and he'll find the other way, and then you'll go, but wait a minute, how do you think that? And then boom, he'll hit you with it. But when it comes to shit like that, like the black woman coming up to you and saying that, I think when it comes to race or certain things, unless the joke is so perfect that they can't deny it, just talk real. Like my dad grew up in the Bronx in the 60s. My father grew up in a Bronx tale. So my father, has kind of, I guess you could say, just instilled old school racism. Yeah. He was almost kidnapped too when he was younger by a black man. So my dad was almost kidnapped. My dad was like feet away from like me not existing. Like,
How did that happen?
He was downstairs, and my grandmother was up a few flights, like doing whatever. And my dad was downstairs just playing around like a tree at like 6 years old, running around. And this dude comes up to him and says, come here, little boy, you need to come with me. And he goes, no. And he goes, no, you got to come with me. He goes, your mother's in the car waiting for you. And he looked in and he saw some woman in the car and he goes, that's not my mother. He goes, no, you got to come with me. And my father, and he starts kind of chasing my father starts screaming. And my grandmother said to my grandfather, she goes, hey, go down and get Tommy. Something's wrong. He goes, my grandfather's like, yeah, he's just playing. She goes, no, something's wrong. He's screaming, go down. And when they got out there, the guy ran off and got in a car and took off. And my guy was trying to get my dad. So my dad always says, now, I've seen my father interact with all races and it's all, he's grit, but he's got that thing. So when I talk about that, you can't get mad at what I'm saying because I do a joke. I talk about how my dad still can't believe Obama was president. I said he talks about it like it was Katrina, and he does. My father talks about it like he can't fuck, and so do you believe that, and I'm just going like, but you can't get mad at me after I say that because that's what it is. He's a man in his 70s who grew up in this time, but it's actually just a bubble. Like I've seen my dad interact with people and he's great. So it's just that it's almost like where you grew up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that shit.
I grew up in Florida, man. I grew up in Florida in the 70s, 80s. I mean, homophobia, racism, it was like they tried their hardest to ingrain it in everyone. I mean, there were, and you just, I think I was lucky. My dad and my mom are the most liberal, open-minded human beings in the world. I've never in my life heard my dad say anything negative about any race of people ever. That's a bold fucking statement.
It is. Not only is that a bold statement, that is fucking rare, man.
My grandmother, God rest her soul, was very racist. My grandmother didn't want me marrying my wife because my wife was poor white trash. She was like, no. We do not associate with them. Oh my God, they're Baptist. Oh my God. We cannot. And I don't think my grandmother came out to my wedding because of it. She was just appalled that I would marry a Baptist white trash. Grew up in a trailer park.
My Greek grandparents met my Italian grandparents.
When you said that, I was like, I want to hear this Bronx tale.
Yeah, so my mother, Greeks are very similar to Jews in that they want you to stay together. Okay?
Dude, can I defend Jews on that? I never
sure.
I was always offended that Jewish girls that I dated, their mothers and fathers never approved of them not dating of them dating me. Like it was always blew my mind that like that was an issue. And I was like, how racist of them. How racist of Gary Goldman's mother to want him to marry a Jew.
Are you Jewish?
No, I'm not. And so, but it wasn't until I went to fucking Europe this last time and I realized how few Jews are in Europe.
Right.
And because of the Holocaust,
yes.
Then I went, oh, yeah, they're trying to keep their race alive. That's all.
No, that's what I dated.
They're not trying to be racist. They're going, hey man, we were exterminated at one point.
Yeah,
we need to keep existing, and the only way to do that is to have sex with each other.
I dated a Jewish girl, and I remember sitting down with her, and I go, hey, can I ask you a question? I go, since it's a religion and not a nationality, why do you guys, and she basically said that. She's just like, look, what happened before, it's like, that's what it is. But my Greek grandparents wanted my mother to go, you got to marry a Greek dude. That's what it is. And in comes my dad, this just, actually like very good looking guy at the time, but just buttoned up, like new car, chains, watch, just comes in, and then they start dating. And then my Sicilian grandparents go to the house of my Greek grandparents, and my Greek grandmother, my mother said, just left, migrated away, went in a room, and my mother looked for her, and then she just went in the room and just found her crying. She just found her crying. She goes, I can't believe you're marrying into this Italian thing. I can't even believe it. Just weeping.
Isn't that crazy?
Weeping.
That like, I wonder if that will happen with racism with black people and white people one day is what's happening. When you tell me that story, I go, that's so fucking crazy. I think there's so many similarities between the Greeks and the Italians.
There really are.
Literally are a rock's throw away.
Well, look at Turkey. Look at people that are Turkish and Greek. That feud for so many years, and it's so
Turkish
close.
wrestling is the gay wrestling I was looking for, Halston. Turkish wrestling is the wrestling I was looking for. Do you remember me saying that to someone? What's the gay wrestling where they put their hands in each other's pants?
No, they don't.
You've never seen Turkish wrestling?
No.
Turkish wrestling. Put in Turkish wrestling, Halston.
They put it.
You've
what?
never seen?
No.
It's the most aggressively gay thing I've ever seen in my life.
What?
Turkish. I think it's Turkish Oil Wrestling or something. Turkish. Are you finding it? They're in leather pants and they're covered in oil, putting their hands. I swear to God. Look at this. Turkish Oil Wrestling. Watch this.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Oh my God. Look, they're going to make out.
Yeah, look at this. Yeah, turn the music off and look at this. But watch, they put their hands inside each other's pants. Turkish Oil Wrestling is the gayest thing I've ever seen. And they're gorgeous. Look at these guys. Look at these guys. What are they? I think these guys are into the wrong sport.
Yeah.
Watch this. Watch this. Look. Watch this. Get your hand out of my pants. Okay, come on. Jesus. Oh. Hey.
I love how they go to the old guy. Like,
look at him.
What?
Look. Yeah, I told you.
Oh my God.
Turkish Oil Wrestling. That, by the way, I've been wanting to share that with someone. Turkish Oil. Hey, Chris D'Elia is live on his podcast with his brother right now. Turkish Oil Wrestling. Look, they put their hands in their pants and grab each other's dicks.
What?
Look.
But like, what's the point? Like, do they pin? Like, how do you win?
I think if you
whoever comes first,
person that comes first. Read this. Yeah, look at this. Look at this, and that's in your asshole.
Oh,
I got your asshole.
God.
I wish someone could defend this for me and go. It's not gay. When I put my hand in his pants.
I've never seen any. Yeah, this is not a joke.
No, this is real. Turkish Oil Wrestling. Google. Let's just get a description of Turkish Oil Wrestling. Traditional Turkish Oil Wrestling. Oil Wrestling. There we go.
What?
It's a Turkish national sport. By the way, I hope this doesn't. There's going to be Turkish people losing their fucking mind going, what? By the way, what if that's my thing that I get cancel culture for? If the Turks come after me?
Oh my God.
The young Turks are going to fucking.
You tap out when you came?
Yeah.
You just go, I did it. Oh my.
What does it say? Halston, can you read? I can't read.
The wrestlers known as Pailvan, meaning hero or champion, wear a type of hand-stitched leather trousers called a kisbil, which is traditionally made of water buffalo hide and most recent has made of calf skin.
Okay.
Unlike Olympic wrestling, oil wrestling matches may be won by achieving an effective hold on the kisbit. So they're trying to hold the pants. Yeah. Thus, they aim to control the opponent's arm by putting it through the kisbil. To win by this move is called pakakazik. Originally, matches had to set duration and could go on for 1 or 2 days until one man was able to establish his superiority. But in 1975, the duration was capped at 40 minutes.
Can you imagine doing that for 2 days? You just got your.
I feel like I've done that with my wife for 2 days.
Yeah,
I've been running around trying to get my
What
hand
happens
in her
after
pants.
2 days? They get married. He's touched him so much.
Turkish Oil Wrestling is one of the most aggressively gay things I've ever seen.
I've never. That
isn't gay. That is. I mean, obviously, there's. By the way, put down that Tom and I need to Turkish Oil Wrestle each other.
Yeah, but those.
I'm gonna text Joe, Tom, and Ari and go, guys. I know what we're doing for Sober October.
Dude, I can't believe those old men were sitting there with like Kangol hats and sweaters looking at it that seriously.
I'm texting those guys right now.
That's hilarious.
My vision's gotten so fucking bad.
Dude, my left eye, I have astigmatism and it's getting worse.
It's like, especially if I drink the night before, I'm like,
because it's dry too, right? You put drops?
Yeah, I got drops in my pocket right now. I have so many eye drops.
I'm going to buy eye drops after this. Yeah.
So when do you go home?
So early Wednesday. So I got a big meeting tomorrow, and I'm right out, and then I'm headlining the Pittsburgh Improv this weekend, Thursday through Saturday. So I got to go home, and my family's at the ocean. So I got to go home, drive to Philly to fly to Pittsburgh, because when I get back to Philly, I'm going to drive an hour and 20 minutes to be with my family.
Say that again?
So my family is going to be where we go down the Jersey Shore. We get a house on the ocean every year, this time of year. So it's not far from Philly. So instead of me flying from New York to Pittsburgh, I'm going to drive to Philadelphia, fly to Pittsburgh, do the improv, fly back to Philly, get in my car, and go to the ocean because it's only an hour and 20 away.
Where you stay? We used to stay at Beach Haven.
You go to LBI?
Yeah, we used to. Back when I was a kid, I grew up at.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, so we go Beach Haven or Brant Beach right there.
There's a place. I wonder if it's still open. It was called. Hold on, I'm gonna call my mom.
We love it down there, man. Like my kids love it.
I wonder if this place is still open. By the way,
I go every year. What's it called? I might know.
Hold on. Let me call my mom. They made the best fucking donuts I've ever had in my entire life.
It's there.
It's the best fucking donuts. We'd go and get a bag of donuts. Why is my phone? Oh, there we go. We get a bag of donuts every fucking morning. They were the best goddamn donuts I've ever had in my life. By the way, Mom. Hey, what was the name of the place that sold donuts in Beach Haven? What? I can't hear you, Mom. Are you in a tunnel? What if she's dying? And that's her last words.
No. God forbid.
I wonder if she'll text me.
Yeah, we go to Beach Haven.
What was the name of the place that sold donuts in Beach Haven? Oh, read what I just texted my mom. Voice texted. Just read it out loud.
What was the name of the place sold Donna to be Javin? Imagine she answered. What the hell? Oh my God. Yeah, you got to change that.
It was those donuts were the best fucking donuts. By the way, I got to be honest with you. If that place is still open, when I'm on tour and I'm in Philly and I'm in Jersey. Oh no, I was just in Philly. I'm in Jersey. I will drive. I'll take my tour bus down to go get these fucking donuts.
Yeah, I know there's a line outside of a donut place, and I would imagine it's in Beach Haven. It's the same one.
It was a block. It was like 2 blocks from our house.
Yeah,
and we were.
Yeah,
God damn it, Mom. I'm going to call her one more time. I got to find the name of this place. I wonder where she is.
That's impressive if she knows it. She'll remember.
Oh, she'll remember. In a heart. Hey, Mom, can you hear me? What was?
Yeah, what you need?
What's the name of the place that had donuts in Beach Haven? Mom, I can't hear you. What was it?
Tommy Marbles. Wait, I'll come outside.
Tommy Armours.
No, Tommy Marbles. I texted
Marvels. Tommy Marvels?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I love you, Mom.
Talk to you,
Bye. Tommy Marvels. Hey, will you see if that place is still open in Beach Haven? Marvels. It was Marvels Donuts, yeah. Tommy Marvels. I guarantee you it's closed. There's no way that fucking place is still open.
There was a donut place there last year.
I guarantee you there's no way this place is still open. Marvel's Bakery in Beach Haven?
Is it still there?
What's the address? 4 West Maryland Avenue. Our beach house was like 2 blocks from that, 3 blocks. We used to walk down to Marvel's and get donuts every fucking morning. I remember they give you a brown bag.
Brown bag, yes.
Cinnamon sugar.
Yes.
And you'd come home and the bag would be wet with oil.
Yes.
And they were hot still. Oh, they were the best fucking donuts.
We got them, dude. It's there.
God damn it.
Yeah, we got them. We're going, I think we are on Beach Haven, and this year we're like right on the ocean.
God, yeah, Marvels. Shut the fuck up.
That's crazy.
Those donuts are the best goddamn
That's so
donuts.
weird. So how did you go to LBI?
So my mom,
you were in Tampa?
My mom grew up in Philly. Mom was born in Philly. My dad was born in Levittown, New York, right by Governor's.
So wait a minute, your dad's from Long Island?
Long Island, yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
dude.
my dad's grew up in Levittown, went to school at Malvern in Philly.
Okay.
And then went to Villanova. My mom grew up in Philly, went to Gwendolyn Mercy or whatever, and then they got married. My dad went to law school at Stetson in Florida, I think, and moved back to Philly and couldn't get a job, and then decided to open a practice in Tampa. Well, I think he started as a lawyer in like St. Pete. We lived on St. Pete Beach. The place that I grew up in, St. Pete Beach, just went on sale on the beach. My dad's like, buddy, it's like fucking 80 grand, 100 grand. It's on the beach. He's like, it's a fucking shack. He's like, you should buy it. I was like, what if my family's not going to want to go live in a
Was it tiny?
studio? It was a studio on the beach.
Yeah.
And so, so we used to, every summer we'd go back to Philly. Every summer we went back to Philly and we'd go to Beach Haven every summer for a week. One of the greatest days I've ever had with my dad ever. I've had a couple great days with my dad.
Yeah.
Meaning, my dad and I have a good relationship, but like, very seldomly do you just. We went and played golf the other day at Torrey Pines, and we laughed hysterically together for 18 holes.
You golf?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fuck, I wish I would have known, dude. We could have planned something. I would have loved that.
Dude,
Next time, dude.
I just got a new set of clubs from TaylorMade.
Oh,
I went and did a fitting, and they gave me a new set of clubs.
Oh,
They're fucking. So I've been playing a lot lately.
oh, dude.
But yeah, one of my favorite days ever. My dad, I was maybe 14 years old, 14 or maybe 13, 14, 15 maybe.
Yeah.
And my dad said, we were in Jersey, and my dad woke me up early, and he goes, hey, let's go body surfing. I was like, fucking such a, I'm like, I'm almost at the age where I'm aged out of that. And I was like, okay. So I didn't want to go. I put on a bathing suit. It was a little cold.
Yeah.
And we go down to the beach, and the water is the coldest water I've ever felt in my life. When I got in, and my feet, I felt like my feet were having headaches. They hurt.
Wow.
And I go, Dad, I don't know if we could do this. And he goes, come on, it'll be fun. We laughed and body surfed for like an hour. It was so great. You want to know the sad part of the story? Is I woke up the next morning excited. I was like, Mom, where's Dad? I want to go body surfing with him. She's like, oh, he went to go play golf in Philadelphia. And I was like, I was so sad. I was like, oh, I wanted to hang out with him.
What do
She's
you
like,
shoot when you golf?
I shot an 83 the other day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. So you're a good golfer.
I'm surprisingly good. I had an eagle. That's part of it. I had an eagle, par 4.
Well, still, I mean,
Par 4. Drove the green, landed 4 feet from the pin.
how far was the hole? 280?
About I think 270 uphill.
Okay.
I hit a 3-wood.
Wow.
Yeah, 3-wood.
You hit a 3-wood uphill 270 and you were on?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking crushed it.
Holy.
4 feet from the pin.
And knocked down the putt.
Knocked down the putt. It was on my
Wow.
Instagram stories, and I was like, it was my second eagle ever.
Oh, you ever get a hole in one or no?
No. You know what I did at Travel Channel? It's like one day that they were like, Adventures of a Lifetime. Like, that's one of my shows I did there 4 years. Adventures of a Lifetime. What's one thing you want to do, you've always wanted to do? Whatever you want to do, we got to do it. It was the greatest job in the world.
Yeah.
I would literally go and go, ooh, motorized surfboards. Let's get some. And so we get motorized surfboards and do it. So
That's great.
one day they said, we're in Arizona. We're taking a family through to the Grand Canyon. And they're like, what's one thing you've always wanted to do in Arizona? I said, hole in one. They're like, what? I said, I want to hit a hole in one. I said, let's find a short par 3 and let's get a course to give us a par 3 for the day. And let's get fucking 200 balls and let's see if we can hit a hole in one. Me and 4 very good golfers, a whole family of good golfers.
Wow.
Sat for 2 hours and not one of us hit a hole in one. We must have hit 1,000 balls onto this green.
Did anybody come close?
Not the closest I got was like 3 feet from the pin.
Wow.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I thought if you gave me 10 shots, I'd have a hole in one.
No, dude, one time on a 163 yard par 3, I came this close. It was this close, and it never came close again. I hit a provisional once though. So one time, we're standing on this big mountain, and you got to go downhill. It's an awesome par 3, and my first one just went far left. Like, I don't think I'm gonna find that. Let me take a pro, and then that one was hanging on the cup. I'm glad it didn't go in.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine if that went in? Then it's a 3. Then it's par, and then you got it. Yeah. So, but I never got one.
The closest I've ever gotten, and by the way, I do this joke every single fucking time. It's one of my favorite Instagram posts. I've done it. I didn't do it this last round. Anytime I go to play golf, I do this, and I always hit Rich Voss.
Yeah.
One time I played in Tampa with my dad, par 3, and I'm on the green, but nowhere close to the fucking pin.
Right.
And my dad goes, buddy, if you had played yesterday, you would have had a hole in one. And I go, why? And I look over, and it's where they had replaced the hole.
Oh my God.
I went,
wow.
And my ball is dead center
In it.
Because when you play golf, they move the hole around to keep the greens fresh. I'm telling that to people who don't play golf. And so you can see a circle. When what they do is they'll pull that plug of grass out to put the hole in, and then they'll The other hole, they'll put that old plug of grass right back in. So it's like a brown circle.
Right. So the next day, the pin could be in the back of the green instead of the front.
Yeah. And so every time I go to play golf, I take a picture of my ball and wherever that was on a par 3, and I go, wow, if I had just played last week.
That's what you keep posting?
And I tag Voss in it. Yeah, because Voss is a fucking... Voss and I played in Scotland.
So when I did the Cellar Vegas, at the Rio for the week.
Yeah.
And it was just a sick week. They planned it to have a certain group of guys. It was me, Bobby Kelly, Rich Voss.
This was recently.
Keith Robinson. It was last year. And so me and Rich, we go out and we go, you know Rob Sherwin? He opens for Carrot Top.
I do.
He's Carrot Top's opener. He's a lit Vegas guy, comic in Vegas for a long time. So us three, me, Rob, and Rich go out on the first hole. We're about to tee off on the first hole. And I hear Voss go. I'll show you the video after. You hear Voss go, holy shit, look at that. I turn around. There's a giant snake. And somebody goes, oh, that's a copperhead. Dude, this thing is, and it's going, and it's right by the first tee. We didn't even tee off yet. And I'm looking, and all I'm doing is admiring the red rocks, and I'm like, holy shit. Somebody was like, no, it wasn't a copperhead. It was something that it's exactly the same. It's a bull snake.
Yeah, it's got like a hook nose. By the way, I used to be really into snakes.
I think I know what
you're talking about.
Not somebody who saw it said it's not poisonous, but dude, this thing. I don't know if you ever played. I'm sure you played in Vegas. Yeah. The road runners, snakes, it's just crazy.
I played with my dad. I'm gonna fly my dad out. We're trying to play Pebble Beach before I start my tour.
Oh, that'd be sick.
But I think you got to get a room there, and it's like $3,000 for a room.
I want to play Sawgrass, TPC Sawgrass. I want that.
Where's that?
That hole, that island hole of all water.
Where is that?
Florida.
I thought I played that.
You played that?
I played. My dad was a avid golfer, so I've played some of the greatest courses.
Oh, okay.
I wish I could remember the name. Harbor Town. It's a great course.
How's Torrey Pines? You didn't love it?
I did. I had a great time. It was pretty safe. And I hadn't played in a year or two, so a couple years, and so it was pretty safe. You could find anything. I didn't lose a ball. I played with the same ball the whole round.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, it's a municipal course, like it's it's a state run course, so it's like a public course. So
okay, so it's nothing crazy.
It's not gonna blow your mind. There's only a couple holes on the water, or the one where we played. So and they were doing construction on 2 holes. I've played some. I mean, I grew up in Florida, so like the courses you'd play in Florida the hazards were so aggressive on both sides. I played Tampa Palms growing up that it was like there was water everywhere.
Yeah.
So it was like you always were like. So anytime I play anywhere, like when I played in Scotland, I was like, shut the fuck up. It's just a huge fucking field. I was like, oh, I think I'm good. I'm hitting driver every fucking hole.
And it's not even like nice grass, right? Like
no,
it's all brown.
I played with
shit.
Ben Bailey and Rich Voss, I think. I mean, I know I played, but I don't remember. I think it was Ben and me and Rich. And Ben and I just rented clubs from the course and fucking hit. I mean, the greens weren't even like kept up.
Yeah, no. So even when you watch the British Open, you're like, this is. But I played in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I played in Florida. And like, I'm not fucking with the thing with me is I don't fuck with like reptiles like that. So
I grew up in
alligators and shit, dude. If I see an like my ball goes, I'm bringing extra balls down south.
No. Fucking growing up in Florida, there was wildlife.
You seen a gator on a golf course?
100 times.
Wow.
Are you serious?
On the course?
100 times.
Yeah, see, that would fuck me up, dude.
Dude, you'd see gators in your backyard. Like my dad has gators in his lake. My daughters would take flashlights out, like the big flashlights, and spot their eyes. They go, Dad, Papa, sparkly eyes.
Did you see the guy holding the baby alligator, and then somebody goes background, and the mother's just charging? Is there any way that you could pull that up?
No, this isn't real.
No, I think it's real.
Shut the fuck up.
No, there's a guy holding a baby alligator, and it's going like this, and somebody goes background, and you just see the big one in the back. You just see the big one running towards him, dude, and it was nuts. Unless I don't think it was fake. I think it was actually
no.
real.
It's got. I would die to see that. In Florida, there's like I don't know. I mean, gators are everywhere. Gators are everywhere. So like. You're always, snow. I remember wakeboarding, and you'd be wakeboarding and see an alligator in the lake.
So let me ask you something though. When you were on the Travel Channel,
Yeah.
you must have been around snakes. You must have saw some wild shit, right?
Oh God, yeah. There's a picture of me
Poisonous
holding.
snakes?
Oh yeah. We went to go find the fertilance in Costa Rica. I have snake boots. I have fucking snake boots. I have snake boots in my fucking.
sorry, dude.
I
Oh, my
swear to
God.
God, yeah.
You have snake
I have
boots?
snake boots. Yeah, really the best ones you can buy. Fucking knee-high snake boots.
Because that's when they come at your ankles.
The fertilances, you don't fuck with the fertilance in Costa Rica. That's one. The guy who did Naked and Afraid was scouting to do the pilot, and he got bit by a fertilance on his foot and almost lost his fucking foot. Like he was a executive producer, and he was just walking, and he stopped. You do not fuck with. When we were in Vietnam, they were like, "Hey, stop grabbing onto the trees." I went because we're hiking 6 miles into the jungle to go camp at the world's largest cave, and they were like, "Stop grabbing onto the trees." And I was like, "Why?" And they go, "You're gonna grab onto a fucking viper." And I went, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, they have green tree vipers all over. They're very poisonous, and you'll think it's a tree branch, and you'll just grab it." They said, by the
Dude,
way,
that's like the most poisonous. Isn't a viper the most poisonous? One of the most poisonous snakes in the world?
oh yeah, and I was terrified my whole fucking hike because I was like looking at trees, going like, they say. I wish if anyone can please find this clip. It's one of the hardest I've ever laughed on the podcast. I don't remember who I had on the podcast. It was definitely, I think, before Halston. But the number one, do you know what the number one?
What?
I wish I could give credit to who said this. Please, please, please hit me up and this person, because it's the beauty of being friends with comedians.
Yeah.
I said, and it's the truth.
Yeah.
Do you know what the number one? I know this person's joke already, so I'm laughing at it. Do you know what the number one reason people fall out of trees?
Oh, what?
The comedian I was with goes, overconfidence? And I go, no, it's not.
What is it?
Snakes grabbing onto a branch and think it's a branch and
And
it's
then
a snake. That's the one reason people fall out of trees. Do you know the number one?
It makes perfect sense. Oh.
Whoever I said it to said it so flatly. He goes, overconfidence? That is the number one reason people fall out of trees. They're overconfident.
Oh, that's so funny.
But yeah, they grab onto a branch and it's a snake. And the number one reason people fall out of trees. Oh, can you imagine grabbing onto a fucking snake and like, motherfucker?
I would die, dude. I would
But
jump
you're
out.
falling, so you got the whiskey throttle of holding onto a snake. Son of a fucking bitch.
Does somebody have a YouTube video of just falling down with the snake in your hand? Oh my God.
And Paulson, that's gotta be something we can find. Thinking a snake is a branch.
Me and Burr watched a video of you on the road years ago when you were on the Travel Channel.
Yeah.
And Bert was like, dude, Virzi, come in here. He goes, look at this video of Bert. And you jumped off of something. You jumped off of something. I don't know. It wasn't a skydive. You might have either zip lined or jumped. You were fucked. All we know is you were high.
Was it the stratosphere?
And you just go in the video, and we were crying. You go, right when you jump, you just go, ah, ah, and me and Burr were cackle laughing. Like you literally, like you braced for it, and then you mentally accepted that you were doing it.
Yeah.
And then right when you jumped, your whole way, like the whole video is just you going, ah, ah. Dude, me and Bill were crying, laughing, but I don't know what you jumped off of.
I always said I thought Travel Channel shows that I did with them would be so much better if people knew who I was. Like if you know me, they're so much better. But like Jim Jeffries texted me one time and he goes, "Dude, I'm watching this show of yours, Bert the Conqueror, and I'm howling laughing." Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, thanks." The last season we did of Bert the Conqueror, there's a clip of me. I might put this on Instagram. I did this in New Jersey at Six Flags. They got this thing called, I think it's called Zumba or Zuma, and it's a free fall ride.
Oh, okay.
It's a free fall ride right by the world's tallest and fastest roller coaster.
Okay.
If I was back in my Travel Channel brain, I could tell you this.
Yeah.
The names. I'd been at Action Park the day before, and I had blown out my testicle. I landed on my testicle, and it was the size of a grapefruit.
Wait, what? What?
I really think this is some of the best television I've ever done in my life. I was at Action Park the day before. They were trying to rebrand Action Park, and say that it wasn't dangerous. It wasn't dangerous. Now, everyone who knows Action Park it's the premise for Johnny Knoxville's movie about a theme park, but it was a place in Jersey they used to call Class Action Park, Traction Park, because people. I mean, I'm not even joking. Like, I think like 10 people have died there. Like lots of
Action
people.
Park was
lots of people died there.
They had to stop. Like they were just having like free fall cliffs without any kind of. Like,
oh my God!
Yeah,
Action Park. By the way, I don't think it's still open. Was one of the funnest places I've ever been. It really is like going to a park and going, hold on, there's no railings?
Yeah.
There's like it was just.
It's like if a bunch of comedians tried to figure out how to like enter, like do an adventure park.
100%.
There was nothing.
There was a high dive. There was a 30-foot high dive that anyone could jump. It was like, and it was so accessible that like, well, you didn't have to climb up anything. It was like they just dug a pool 30 feet down.
Yeah.
And the water was ice fucking cold.
Yeah.
Action Park was so much fun. I remember getting on a ride and they're like, we're going to close it down. Someone's been electrocuted. And I was like, huh? And so they're trying to rebrand it. So they bring us to Travel Channel and they have a slide. They have a slide that is 30 feet in the air that you slide off it onto your back. And then the end of the slide is a high dive. Like you fly 30 feet to the ground, to the water. And I landed on my testicle and I blew out my testicle, right? The fucking size of a grapefruit. And Action Park is the funniest place in the world because they're like, we need our safety techs to come in and look at your testicle. And I was like, sure. It's 2 high school girls.
Oh my God.
Walk into a room. I'm naked. I'm holding my dick in one hand so they can't see it. And letting my balls be below. I'm a fucking 43-year-old man.
Oh my God.
And these women had never seen a grown man naked and literally like
oh my.
and I filmed their reaction and they're like, you need to go to the hospital. So I go to the hospital. In the hospital, they're like, this is bad. We're going to do some sonograms, some x-rays. And then, and I watch this woman die in the hospital. I watch her die.
What?
And she is talking to me like before she died. She's in a chair and she's like, will you talk to me? I'm scared.
Oh my.
I have no one. I have no one.
Oh.
I have no, and I'm just like, oh my God. And then she fucking collapses in the chair. They take her into a room. I mean, I don't know if she died, but anyway, I'm pretty sure she died. Anyway.
Oh my God. To say I have no one talk to me.
I have no one. Will you talk to me? And I was like, sure thing. What's going on?
I can't, dude.
What is happening? Where is everybody? And I was like, oh God. I had to take a Xanax in that fucking hospital room. So the next day we go to fucking Six Flags and I get on this ride with this little girl. If you pull up Paulson, if you pull up the season, pull up Bert the Conqueror season 3 trailer, you'll see it. I'm not joking. I get in a ride with a little girl and it's a free fall ride. It's free fall's interesting because it really fucking pulls, it empties your brain. It is like therapy. Free fall can fucking zap your brain. It pulls everything out.
Yeah.
It is, I want to say it's 4.5 seconds of free fall. It's the longest free fall ride I've ever done in my life. And I've jumped out of planes. And yeah, hang on. Hit pause. So my teeth look great. So anyway, I do the free fall ride and everything floods out of me and I start crying. I start obsessively crying and I'm sitting next to a little girl who's
crying up. We were like
just sobbing. Hit play.
What? Sad?
No,
like,
it was
just
like it was just like I couldn't stop it. Just take a look at. You'll see me crying. I guarantee it. I'm guaranteed they close on it.
Oh my God,
dude! I did so much shit. Wait, this show looks good. This was such a great season. I guarantee you they show me. That's a free fall ride. Do you see me crying?
Yeah.
Next to a little girl, I'm just sobbing, crying.
So the Travel Channel paid you to do this?
Dude. I gotta be honest. Yeah, look at that. This poor girl's just laughing like, are you okay? And I was like, and it caught me off guard emotionally. It caught me off guard and I was sobbing, crying. Oh. And dude, but this season of this show, this season of Bert the Conqueror was so fucking good because they had fired, they went in and fired everyone in the network except for one guy. That one guy was our exec for Travel Channel, was my exec for Bert the Conqueror.
Oh,
they
wow.
fired everyone at the network, right?
Wow.
And they didn't have a president. No one worked at the network while we were making that show. No one was even fucking there. And so we didn't have any notes. So I did whatever I wanted to do.
Oh my
and it
God.
was so fucking fun. Like they were like, they go do a read for Jersey. And no one's just at the wheel. So my read for Jersey was New Jersey's like big tits. I go, no, New Jersey's like a fat ass. Like if you're into fat asses, they get a bad rap. But if you're into fat asses, you're like, fuck yeah, it's a fat ass.
Yeah.
I go, that's what New Jersey's like. And the guy goes, you can see my cameraman goes, they're not gonna be able to use that. And I was like, okay, it's like big tits. That was the read they used for Travel Channel. If they aired Bert the Conqueror again that season, I guarantee you it would fucking be a hit.
Oh my God.
But-
no, dude, that's great. Dude, that big ball thing reminded me. So when I was, I'll go back for a second. My mom had stage 4 cancer in 97. Bad,
Really? Yeah.
real bad. And I was, and they took it out and she was cancer free. Then it grew back and they took it after 4 surgeries. They can't keep cutting you open. So then little things all over her liver. And then basically she was in stage 4 and the Dana-Farber, 2 months before her last relapse, the Dana-Farber Institute in Boston came out with a test drug. And here we are today. And my mother's alive and well because of it.
Shut the fuck up.
I swear to God, man. Yeah. So they saved my mother's life. My mother got to see her grandchildren. It's been amazing. But something was wrong with me. And when I was about 23 years old, there was a pain here, right where my appendix would be. And I'm a hypochondriac. I worry about shit like that. And I go to my doctor because something was wrong. It was like this weird achy, something was wrong. And I go and my doctor was very passive and he just goes, let me take some blood. And then as he's walking out of the room, he stopped himself. And he goes, you know what, Paul, I hate to do this. I'm going to send you to the emergency room. We got to figure this out. And I almost thought he was fucking with me. And I go home and I tell my mom, I go, I got to go up to the emergency. She goes, stop it. I go, no, seriously. So they make me drink this thing and they're like, there's a mass there. You can see the scar here. You see the scar?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. So they were like, I come out of surgery that night. I had emergency surgery that night. I come out and I remember coming to, and my mom's going, okay, Paul, they got it out. However, they did find something. And I was just like, and everything. I had a friend who had cancer and lost his mother. My mother had cancer. And I'm laying there and I'm doing, all right, now, Bert, I'm doing black contest shows in the city. I'm doing the urban circuit in New York City because that's the only place I get stage time. 250 all black audience members wanted to boo me off stage. I remember driving from upstate New York to 125th Street in Harlem, Uptown Comedy Club, to do 5-6 minutes for no money, but I had to do it. And things started to move, and people were like, "Oh, this guy's funny. Put him on this." And now I'm 2 years into like starting to get into stand-up for real, and I'm laying on this thing and they go, you're going to be here for 4 days. We're going to do a biopsy on this mass that they took out. And I'm just going, dude, and I remember praying. I remember just being like, I think I could do something in comedy. Just please, not now, and all this stuff. And I was praying and I was all this stuff and I'm waiting. And there's a guy next to me and he's an old man and the curtain is between us. And I would hear, like you just brought this up. And he goes, it's 100% true. And he goes, hey, son, how, and we're just talking. And he's like, yeah, I can't get out of here until my testicle goes down. And I go, what? And he goes, yeah, you wouldn't believe it. One of my testicles is the size of a softball. And I'm like kind of giggling, but I'm just like, and he was like in his 60s or 70s. And he was like, yeah, I heard you got a nice family who cares about you and this. And we're just talking. And I get up to go to the bathroom one time. And he goes, come here, Paul. Let me show you this thing. I swear to God. And this guy lifts his gown. And what I witnessed, this dude's, I believe it was his left testicle, if my memory serves me correctly, was literally, I didn't believe it was actually physically possible for a fucking, and I remember it had like a pale tone to it because he was a fucking old man with like a big sack. And this ball was like a fucking, it was literally like he had one normal testicle.
I bet I could find.
And
I'm going to show you my testicle. I guarantee you it's on
one
here.
testicle was a baseball, and it's something that burned in my brain. And then I found out that what I had a few days later was diverticulosis I was born with and it was an infection that they took out, and they had to cut it out. And that was it.
What year was that Bert the Conqueror video? 2016? QC Holston? Yes. 2016? In the United States? Let's see. I'm sure we probably shot it in. I guarantee you I have this fucking picture of my testicle. Not Los Angeles.
There's no way it looks
Philadelphia,
worse than
Wayne,
this
no.
old man's. No way.
I
Don't
hope
look
it
at an
does.
old
I
man's
hope it
sack.
does. When did we shoot that? I wish. Oh, I have my glasses. Why don't I just wear them?
Well, Bert, how do you blow out a testicle?
You'll
Like,
see.
what-
I think you're gonna really be excited about this.
I mean, I don't know if I am.
New Brunswick. Where's New Brunswick?
New Brunswick
Oh,
would be
that's no. This must have been the beginning of 2016. Fayetteville, Bowden. Not okay. Yeah, Soak City.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
it's coming. It's coming. Dallas,
No.
Universal, Des Moines,
No,
Los
dude.
Angeles, Irvine, Bisbee.
Maybe you won't find it.
I'm hoping I do.
Maybe you won't. Maybe we could all be
Clearwater,
lucky.
SeaWorld, San Antonio,
Ah.
New York, Little Italy. These are all the places I went. Austin, Dayton, Toluca Lake, Valley Village, Miami, Busch Gardens. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Where is Jersey? Where is what city is Minnesota, Detroit, California, Georgia, Santa Claus, Indiana? It's got to be coming. Oregon, Washington, New York, California. Come on, baby. Where's this testicle? I can't wait to fucking find this. No, Maine? No. Tennessee? Do I not have it? Oh, it was right after that, wasn't it?
Oh, boy. I thought I was spared.
I found it.
No, you didn't. You found the ball? Oh! Why is it pink?
Did you see that? That's
Why is it
fucking-
pink on that side?
It exploded. Look at that. That's like ice cold balls. That is ice cold balls.
Oh,
Is that not? That's like when your nuts are frozen. So I was in ice cold and I took a picture and sent it to my wife. I go, does this look bad?
oh my God.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, I could tell you this old man's was triple that size.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'm texting this to my wife.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's funny how the podcast got to that, right?
Yeah, we
Podcast
should end on that.
Podcast.
Do you remember when I blew out my testicle? Comma. Love you. Awesome, man. Well, so fuck yeah. Well, dude, thanks for doing this, man.
Dude, thank you for having me, man. You've always been, every time I've seen you, you've always been gracious, and I'll never forget. You know, comics, we always remember who's good to us, but we especially remember who's bad, and you were always cool, and when we worked together at Levity, man, it was great. So, and thanks for having me here while I'm
I
in
want to say
town. dude.
Louis J. Gomez showed up that week.
Maybe.
That was when I met Louis.
Oh, maybe,
That
yeah.
was when the first time I met
Yeah,
Louis.
maybe Louis showed up that week. Yeah, I think
He was
so.
Louis J. Gomez. They call me the Puerto Rican rattlesnake.
Rattlesnake, yeah.
And I went, yeah, really? I remember going, did you just tell me your nickname so that I could call it to you? Hey, Puerto Rican rattlesnake. I met you and Louis that weekend.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool, man.
That was a great fucking weekend. I'm really glad we did that.
no,
Oh, my
man,
wife's
yeah.
calling. I just sent her the testicle picture.
Oh, boy.
What's up, baby?
What did you just send me a picture of?
My testicle. Remember when I ruptured my testicle in Action Park?
Oh, okay. That's not current.
No, that's not current.
Oh,
I love you. We're wrapping this up. I love you. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
that is a caring wife.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't care if they're doing a show. I got to make sure his testicle is okay.
Oh,
That's
fuck
not current.
yes.
Like you would blow it out during this.
Yeah. What the fuck are you guys doing in the man cave?
I mean, the podcast was going well, and then I blew out my testicle.
So what do you got to promote? You what?
Yeah, so this week, Thursday through Sunday, I will be headlining the Pittsburgh Improv, and my feature is Pittsburgh's own Joe Bartnick. That's going to be great, and I'm going to be also at the end of September 27th and 28th, I'll be headlining my favorite club in New York City, Gotham Comedy Club. So come out to that as well, and for other dates and other stuff in between, you can go to paulvirzi.com. Thanks again. Check out my podcast, too, The Virzi Effect.
The Virzi Effect. I was on it.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, fuck
You-
yeah.
you were
Find
on
that
it.
episode. Listen to how high my voice is. Now that with age, my voice has gotten a lot deeper, like Dave
Oh, is that?
Chappelle's.
Oh, I will listen for that.
Yeah, I used to talk like this, like hi, like if you listen to my old specials.
You know what's funny? All Things Comedy posted an old clip of Joe Rogan with the backwards hat, super like
His voice
small,
was high as shit.
and he said like, you know, my girlfriend would say like, would you fuck Madonna? He's like, I would fuck Madonna in front of you on the breakfast table while eating cereal, and it was like a different voice. I actually
Yeah.
didn't recognize the voice.
Yeah.
That happens.
Oh, the older you get, the deeper your voice gets.
Oh shit.
I love my voice right now.
You like the.
Well, I fucked it up by throwing up. I think I fucked my vocal cords up, but I like my voice better now than I did. Like when I hear videos of me younger, like from Bert the Conqueror, I'm just like, listen to how. Can you pull?
Really, what kind of corn?
That's
Too many bimbos.
still his voice. I can hear it. It's just a little higher. Put Bert the Conqueror, arena football. And no, not Bert the Conqueror, Hurt Bert arena football on YouTube. Listen to how high my voice is. You'll be like, oh.
How long ago was this?
This was.
Your chance. We're gonna be out here on the field with the Avengers football team.
Was that you?
Yeah, that's me. At 186 pounds.
And what year is this?
This is 2002.
Big hits.
Listen to my voice.
Hit pretty good.
Whole bunch.
The name of the show is Hurt Bert, and what we're gonna do today is we're gonna hurt Bert. Put your
Just-
teeth can hurt Bert.
Well, a whole bunch. This is. Wow, you want to see something fucking crazy?
Are you please saying you get number 10 taunting me with the knee kick to the groin?
Does my voice sound higher there?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. Go forward, fast forward a little bit. I'll tell you where. Keep going. Drag. Right there. Right where you see the. Okay, keep going back. Go back. There we go. Hit play. Right there. This is. Look how small I am. Okay. This was a TV show that they said would never work.
That's all I could have.
Wait till you see this. Wait till you see this fucking hit.
Start teeing off on pretty good.
Watch this. Wait. That's not the good one.
You don't even hear anything. It's dead silent, and then all of a sudden you hear it. And then I heard you punk bitch in my ear.
Hold on. Wait till you see.
Oh,
Wait till you see. Wait. I almost broke my neck in one of these.
I felt good. Felt good just to crush him. You know, that solid contact.
oh.
Just look at him, see him there, things on the ground. It was great.
You got knocked out.
Wait till this. I almost broke my neck here. Watch this.
You can get really hurt. Yeah. Okay.
That's all right. Oh,
Watch this. Wait. You haven't seen. Wait till you see this fucking hit that I take.
dude.
This one's fucking.
Dude, this
not
is
this
like
one.
borderline uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, I know. This is back when I wanted to be famous.
I've never been hit like that in my life.
Watch
I
this.
feel like everything's sideways, kinda, and clear. The weirdest part.
Watch
is when you
this.
get hit
This
from
is
behind.
legit. Concussion.
Clear, and then all of a sudden,
Oh,
and then you're all of a sudden you're in the ground and you're moving and you're going, my what?
you got up though, dude.
There you go, Bert. There you go, man. Hey,
Man.
Get some more, baby. Get some more. Get some more.
There's just bumps, random bumps.
Dude, you have always been. You're out of your mind with this. You jumped out of a plane for that show.
I jumped out of a plane. You can hit it, turn it off, Halston. Yeah, I've done a lot of fucked up stuff.
Oh, dude.
I've done a lot
You got
of
up from
fucked
that
up
though,
stuff.
man. A lot of kids wouldn't have got up from that.
Yeah,
And you weren't that big.
No, 186 pounds. I gotta lose weight. I gotta work out. We gotta get you out of here.
Yeah.
I gotta eat some fucking lunch and work out, bro. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank
for doing
you,
this. This
man.
has been a great fucking podcast.
And
what are we
dude-
at? We're like 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours is whenever I do a 2.5 hour one, you know that I'm fucking like.
I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, man.
Dude, it started off perfect. We got
Yeah.
so real about fucking anxiety and panic and fucking OCD.
Every great podcast starts out not knowing you started. I was gonna be like, oh, is he just talking? Like when you first started talking,
Fucking
you didn't do an
Noom's
intro.
or Quip's gonna lose their fucking mind.
Yeah.
They're like right at the beginning of this, they're gonna be like, "Fuck yeah, Bert!"
Oh, yeah.
It's-
Dude, when you
enjoy
come
that
to New York,
toothbrush.
you come to New York, dude. I mean, obviously, I'll see you at the new stand, but hit me up, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm coming to New York. I think sometime this month we're gonna fly out and hit up with these people that I hope hopefully I'll have on the podcast. Love Vagabond. They sail around the world and are on YouTube.
Okay.
I'm really fucking Riley and Alana. Oh, I think it's Atlanta.
If I'm back from vacation, I'll get up. But when you come to the stand or the cellar, I'll see you.
Awesome, brother.
Yeah. Cool,
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Fuck yeah.
That was awesome.